Be here for her. Be here for her. Be here for her.
Oh my God! That was hectic.
Be here for her. 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 Be here for her.
Come on, that was fantastic. But no, you had want to pass the mic. Yes.
Be here for her. 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 Be here for her.
Oh, it's not right.
Be here for her. 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 Be here for her.
Is this randomly?
Okay. Be here for her. 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 Be here for her.
Do we have a winner yet? You had want to pass the mic.
Okay. Be here for her. 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 Be here for her.
You know the power of trying to get something and you close your eyes. Just know at that point you are going to get it. She was like, be here for her, be here for her, be here for her. Like there's a screen behind your eyelids. All right, randomly.
Be here for her. Be here for her. Be here for her.
No, again.
Be here for her. 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 Be here for her.
Okay, thank you. You people are not even look like if you bring the mic, what will happen?
Be here for her, 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 be here for her.
Oh, thank you. So you're saying here for her.
Here for her, here for her, here for her, here for her, here for her.
That was close. No, you were not too fast. That's the assignment. Every other person just brought it down a bit. Yes. Thank you so much, everybody. It's an absolute honor to stand before a room filled with resilience, power, and brilliance. I can see few men around us. We say thank you so much for coming, and we appreciate your support. So, without further ado, I want us to do something. I want us to go on a trip with our minds. Now, imagine that this is an exclusive ride, and I am your captain, and the stage right here is my steering wheel. Are we beginning to imagine that? So, now that we are going on the ride, this ride is about to take off and it's going to be really exclusive because we are all here for each other. So can we give ourselves a round of applause? So we are about to cruise through an unforgettable moment of laughter, excitement, and unforgettable memories. So as a captain, can I introduce myself? Do you want to know me? Okay. My name is Adebimpe Olajiga Adepoju. Yoruba, right? Thank you so much. And since my name is Adebimpe, it means crown brought me well. Royalty. Do I look like my name? Thank you. So I wear so many hats, but basically it's all around impact. So as a digital content creator and a journalist, and also a reporter, I've done over 500 stories that has attracted over 100 million views across various social media platforms and counting. And also, as a social worker, I believe that you, me, and everybody matters. And as your event host today, I believe that you are amazing, you are beautiful, and you are fantastic. So give yourselves a round of applause. But today is not about me, it's about us. So Assured is more than just a movement, it's more than just an event, it's a movement. It's a space where we uplift, inspire, and remind each other that we are unstoppable. Whether you're here to network, or you're here for mentorship or business insights, the most important thing is that you are in this room and you belong here. Do you understand, ladies? Beautiful ladies? We are getting cold. Do you want us to play another game? Yes or no? She said no. You'll be my co-captain today, ma'am. All right, that's good. So specifically for this event, I created an affirmation because I'm so happy. We're still in the Women's Month, and I want us to recite this affirmation with me. Are you ready? Yes. So I am her, unstoppable, powerful, and full of grace. I embrace my journey. I embrace my growth. I embrace my story. I am not alone. I am surrounded by a sisterhood that sees me, supports me, and celebrates me. I give myself permission to thrive, to shine, and to take up space unapologetically. I'm deserving of ease. I'm deserving of love. I'm deserving of success. I am more than just my role. I am a woman of wisdom. I am a woman of strength. And I am a woman of impact. Today I step fully into my power. Today I choose courage. Today I own my greatness. And today I choose me. Thank you very much. So let's dive into an unforgettable day of inspiration and sisterhood. Are you ready? So without further ado, we'll start with the opening remark. And this will be taken by the Director of Sales, Retail and Partnership, Leadway Assurance. So let's give a round of applause for Kiki Fisher. You can make it louder, Kike. You can make it louder. Wow. 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 What do you want to say, everybody? You look so beautiful. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Okay, good morning, everyone, and welcome, welcome, welcome. It's such a pleasure to have everyone here. Assured started its journey 1 year ago, and I remember sometime in March last year, we were sat in our Leadway building where we did the opening for Assured. It's been a wonderful journey, and I'm sure Kumbi will be able to speak to it. When we started, the vision was to create a community to empower women. We often say when 1 or 2 people are gathered, great things happen. I say when more than 2 women are gathered, magic happens. The journey has been exciting. I don't have the statistics, Kumbi does, but I think we've come a long way. The journey started in 2021. We're here in 2025, and I would say that we've been able to create a community where we all thrive, and we've been able to leverage off each other. We often think about our careers as the height of what we can achieve, but the vision was to think way beyond our careers, think about our personal lives, financial growth, and everything that you can think of that makes us whole. And I think we've been able to achieve that. So today marks the 1 year journey that we started. It's the 1 year anniversary. And the opening of a new chapter. And Kumbi, correct me if I'm wrong. The new chapter is now inviting people externally to join the community that we've built. So again, I'll say we've done well. We don't celebrate ourselves enough as women, although the men will say that we celebrate ourselves too much. So I would say let's give ourselves a round of applause. I would end the opening notes by saying, let's enjoy ourselves. Let's take pride in what we do. We do a lot. We think a lot. Women often have the most mental health issues, so let's celebrate today. Let's enjoy being in our presence. And I would say welcome again, and let's start this new journey on a high note. Thank you.
Magic happens. So our keyword for today is abracadabra. So we are going to create magic here today. So moving on, it is important we have an idea of what Assured is about. And we're going to be calling up on stage the Chief People Experience Officer Leadway Group, Kumbi Adeoti. She's going to tell us about Assured and Leadway's commitment to women's empowerment and inclusion and birthing Assured. So let's give her a round of applause. Thank you so much, ma'am. You're welcome. So once you hold the mic, the first thing you say is abracadabra.
I'm not related to the late fella. Okay. Abracadabra. Good morning, ladies. And you are all looking. So when I saw Adebinkwe, I said to myself, I could have mixed this with orange organza. And I love orange like anything else. In fact, I was gisting with Kike, and he was almost beginning to think, you dream, you sleep this brand. Well, what can I say? It's just beautiful seeing it. And all I see is greatness inside it. I'm going to take us on a journey. Every year, we do IWD. And I have a catalog of all the pictures, the different journeys we've had inside of Leadway. In 2021, I spoke with Bumi Adeleye, she's not here now. And I said, this can't be a one-off thing. Even at that time, guess what? The men were always beefing us. Because they will tell you, you have Mother's Day, you have International Women's Day, then there's Mothering Sunday, and they ask you how many times, they don't even know the day they celebrate themselves. And I said, the reason is simple. Every day, you guys make noise. At night, you go to the club, you do the talking, and somehow you fill the social media with yourselves. And then we get the back seat, we take the brunt, you put your head down. Somehow, you're constantly thinking you don't measure enough, and you're just at the back. And then you're running to keep your family. You're constantly doing that balancing act. For those of you who are married, you're trying to look at the man and say, okay, I'm here for you. For the children, you are here for them. Then for the family, because of our context in Africa, you are also there for them. Then there's the, what do you call it, black tax. The many other persons who are taking off you. You are there for everybody but yourself. And many stories of women who have collapsed in the kitchen or collapsed in the office. You know, you just listen to some of those things. In recent times, I actually started seeing obituary. I lost someone. Not someone. January 1, I lost someone. January 23rd, I lost someone, all below the age of 50. Women who were doing fantastic things. And I said, do you want to be 70 and 80 before your story is written? Before something is made out of you? You've built every other person. You've made a journey, but celebrated every other person but yourself. So in that conversation, it all started from, why can't we have an orange network? That was where we started from. Then 2022, the IWD in-house, we had I Choose Challenge. For those of you who can remember. At that point, I said, no, not anymore. We're going to do something about this. Why? One, we have different generations within the workplace, Leadway. We had younger people we needed to attract. We needed to help them find meaning. We have the ones who were midway through life. How do we enable them through the leadership challenge to go right up? And for the ones who are up, are they giving back to ensure there's a dragnet to bring in more women? And that was how we started internally. We formed a committee. Some of them are here. Celestina, Moji, Alade, Ojebi. We picked women across the organization and tasked them and said, what should this look like? They came back with a blueprint. And in that blueprint, there were 3 major things. There was our career, there was our financial life and well-being, then our personal lives. How do we drive these 3 pillars and make a difference? Internally, we do have products in-house. How much have we leveraged on those products, even to become financially well-fitted? At the same time, how have we leveraged in terms of career? In terms of career, that was what birthed Women in Leadership. And we started that conversation. And a whole lot of you here, I want to say a big thank you to you, because another round of that is coming. We started coaching, then we started mentoring. Mentorship was not just women, from the senior women to the upcoming women. I don't want to use the word junior, because everybody has a dynamite in your own thread. You have your dynamics that enables and empowers you. You just need somebody to push you. And we recognize that everybody is at different level in their life. So that was also in place. And then the conversation of Her Assured, it metamorphosed from, you know what? We can be more confident, we can be bold, we can be fearless, and we can do great stuff. After all, we say we want to ensure happiness. If you are happy, your financial, your career, everything will be in totality. And that was how we moved into Her Assured. And before we knew it, we spoke with women across different networks, women who had something similar, but we didn't want to copy. We wanted what was different. We wanted what would empower women from inside to outside. And then, of course, we increased it's not just about the footprint of Leadway. It's about the footprint of women who have connected with Leadway and have become bigger dimensions of themselves. And of course, doing bigger things within the society. And that's how the birthing started. And we had events. We have a communication where we've been speaking to people about their career, about their well-being, about their health, every facet of what impacts a woman and makes a woman whole. I must also talk about the diaper givers here. We also have that, some don't know, in-house, where we started to look at nursing mothers and how to enable them through their careers while they make the home front happen, because that part is only a season in your life. It's only an event. Maximum 15, 20 years, they are out of your nest. What then happens to you when you suspended everything? Today, it's exciting to see all of you. It's not about me, it's about every one of you choosing to do magic. Thank you very much.
Like I said when I came here earlier, I said it's a great privilege to stand in front of this room. And now we have women who are making impact, who are breaking barriers. We have them in this room. And while she was speaking, we had the MD, Head Gas Venture at Nekonde Energy Limited, Engineer Chichi Eminike. Looked at her. She walked in gracefully. She recently just got inducted as a fellow of Nigerian Society of Engineers. Distinguished ladies, it's not easy. Please give her a round of applause. Permit me, please give her a standing ovation. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, ma'am. Please have your seat. She's the one here. I'm not the engineer is here. Please. Mom, thank you for accepting. accepting your accolades with gracefully. It's good to have you here. We should own it, yes. We need to start owning every accolade we get. You know, it starts from the little things. You might just look beautiful and somebody's like, oh, you look beautiful. You be like, you be like, you should say, oh, thank you. Accept it gracefully. Please, let's start doing that henceforth. So moving forward, we have Head Digital Business Leadway, Dahana Mulili, and she's going to be telling us about Assured Focus, USP, and future expectations. Thank you so much, ma'am. Don't forget the magic word. Okay.
Abracadabra. Good. I love it. Abracadabra. Love that. Good morning, everyone, and it's a pleasure to be here today with amazing women who are trailblazing in their specific areas. So I'm very honored to be here amongst you. As a Kenyan who moved here 1.5 years ago, I can tell you this. I absolutely love Nigerian women. When I was moving here, I had a Kenyan friend who took me around, and she told me, you know, when you're here, she had lived here for 5 years working for StanChart. She told me, here you learn how to love yourself. You know, back in Kenya, we are just all about everybody else, but not ourselves. You can even see it on our faces. And for sure, my face is shinier since I moved here. I've learned how to appreciate myself more as a woman and to be in spaces where there's community. I feel it. I've had friends who have, you know, taken me into their communities, and I've felt very welcomed in this country. So to be here, having Assured go out into a larger community is a fantastic milestone for the organization and also for myself as a person. And I say this because we are all aware of the systemic challenges we face right from when we are young. The way we are socialized. We are socialized to serve others. We are socialized to put our needs last. The woman who gives everything to everyone else is the one who is hailed as the ideal woman. The woman who looks like she's ambitious and she's putting her needs first is identified as selfish. Right? You've heard that word sometimes thrown out. She's very selfish. Just because she's taking care of her own needs. And those biases exist in all the spaces we are in, whether it's within the organization or outside. And those biases show up when it comes to the pay gap. Worldwide, we know women earn less than men, even when they are in the same room. So systemic challenges like this continue to exist. And it's always beautiful to see such platforms created. We can never have enough. People will ask, but every other organization is creating such a forum. But I can tell you, it's never enough. We have 100 years to close the wage gap. 100 years. That means that something catalytic needs to happen. It needs to scale. If we're going to shorten that period, are we really going to shorten it in our lifetime? I don't even know that. So we have to keep trying, and we have to look at the long-term view of it, which is why Assured comes in to create safe spaces for women to convene and support each other. As you're building your financial independence, you need to be protected. You need to prevent yourself from the risks that you face on a day-to-day. And that's where Leadway as a group comes in, to help you in that journey so that you are aware of what options are there. And when we look at this market specifically, we all know that insurance penetration is very low. In fact, out of sub-Saharan Africa, Nigeria, which is an anchor market, is at 0.5% insurance penetration. That's how low it is. South Africa, mature market, double-digit penetration. Kenya, where I come from, not even much, 3.5%, but you can really see a big difference in the awareness in the market. So such a platform will help us educate women on what options are out there. Because what I've seen in my life, once you bring awareness to women, women take it up and they run with it. Which is why I totally agree with when more than 2 women convene, magic happens. Because once we educate each other, people take it on and go on to trailblaze whichever path they choose to be on. So you can look forward to more magic happening. We will be creating more forums like this. We will be having educative programs out there, digitally, but also offline, so that we can enable women to walk their journey knowing that they are protected against the risks they face as they go about their day-to-day lives. Thank you so much.
Permit me to say Asante Sana. Karibu, yeah, that's it. Yes, Karibu is you're welcome. Asante Sana is thank you very much. And in Ghana we say Midase. In Yoruba we say Eshe Pupo. In Igbo, what do we say? Dalu. So we've thanked you in various languages. I hope you're pleased. In Hausa, what do we say? Nagode. That works. So I want us to play a little game. It's called Put Your Finger Up. I know you've seen it on social media. So can we have 5 fingers up? Okay, if you have not seen it, something really simple. It's very simple. Can we have 5 fingers up? So put a finger down if you're a business owner. Put a finger down if you have ever uplifted another woman. Put a finger down if you have overcome a challenge that made you stronger. Put a finger down if you are stepping into a season of growth. Put a finger down if you are that woman that is bold, brilliant, and ready to win. Now give yourselves a round of applause. Shay, you see my game is simple. It's not hard. Let me see if you have forgotten. Abracadabra. Thank you. I love it. Thank you so much. So now moving forward, we're going to have a fireside chat. I said fire for a reason. You should know it's going to be burning. And I hope you are ready to absorb that heat because it's going to go a long way. So the topic for this fireside chat is strengthening female advocacy through lasting policy formulation. You know, there's some policies that favor us that we don't even know exist. Are we aware of that? So we are going to have that panel section, and our panelists are going to expatiate and let us know more about it. So to moderate this panel session, please can we have Yemisi Rotimi up on stage? Thank you so much. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Abracadabra. Oh my God. I think I'll just stick with the making magic happen. Thank you. Good morning, my fellow sisters. You guys are amazing, you're beautiful, and it's great to be here this morning. We're going to, have a segue into something serious. We want to talk about strengthening female advocacy through lasting policy formulation. I'm sure you're all aware. I'll bring my panelists on in a minute, but I just wanted to sort of create some context around this. As you're all aware, over the years, there's a lot of noise around women issues and all of that, a lot of talk. And really, it's really about advocacy. How do we actually go from talk to action? So this morning, I've got 2 powerful women in the house that are creating magic. And it is my pleasure to invite and welcome these women to join me on the stage. I'm going to need to call. Okay. 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 I've just been told that one of the ladies is not in yet, but it's fine. Nonetheless, I'm sure that this panelist I'm about to invite will do justice to the topic. So permit me to please invite Tejumola Abisoye to join me on the stage as she makes her way here. Let me just sort of have a brief intro just so that you get to know Tejumola. Tejumola is a lawyer with expertise in development finance, project management, and youth empowerment. And she's the CEO and Executive Secretary of the Lagos State Employment Trust Fund. Former CEO and Executive Secretary of Lagos State Employment Trust Fund. And in that role, she has supported 15,000 plus small businesses. She deserves a round of applause for that. Created 100,000 plus jobs and trained over 5,000 youths. Previously, she's worked on humanitarian programs at the Guardian Light Assembly and led youth entrepreneurship initiatives at UWIN. She holds an LLM from the University of Pretoria and an LLB from the University of Ibadan, and is an alumnus of Yale University's Women Leadership Program. Distinguished ladies, please give a rousing welcome to Tejumola Abisoye. Our second panelist is on our way, but we won't keep you guys. So I'm just going to drive straight in to talk about the state of female advocacy today. There's been a lot of talk. Where are we on this journey? What's happening in the landscape? I'm sure you can shed some light on that.
Thank you very much. And indeed, thank you to Leadway for having me here, assured. And of course, Ojion, that can be the only one that can actually pull me out of my retirement. But it's really a pleasure to sit with you and to share some light in my thoughts about where we are. We're still a long way from what we want, but we're not where we were. I share a story about my grandmother. When she won elections in the 60s to be a member of the House of Representatives, she couldn't resume because they told her they would beat her up. She won a landslide victory, 26,000 to 2,000. And then today, at least we have the women, and they are showing up, and they're resuming in the House of Representatives. I think apart from now, when you think about it from what we're seeing with the banks, almost every bank that is something in Nigeria today is headed by a woman.
Yes.
We should celebrate that.
Please, let's appreciate ourselves for that.
So, and even when you think about public sector, Lagos, for example, has almost a gender parity, right? We have very, very deliberate and conscious about women leading agencies, commissioners, and we're making progress. Rwanda has 65% women, and Africa sworn the second female president just 2 days ago. Namibia has sworn in another female president after Erling Sirleaf Johnson, right? Erling Johnson Sirleaf. So we're making progress, but we're not there. And there's just this long gap. There's this wide gap that we still need to fill. And there's just a lot more to be done for us to get there.
Absolutely. But if you think about it, I think the first place to start is really for women to know their rights. Because culturally, you find that in this part of the world, maybe part of the issue is that women, maybe not well represented in this room, because I am sitting in the middle of gladiators, and these are all champions in their right. But I think that as a society, we need to educate our women to sort of understand what their rights are, and it's only when you know your right that you know what you're fighting for. What would you say to that? Particularly, how can we make sure that we bring policies on board that can protect our women and there's recourse for them in terms of where there's injustice? It's a loaded question.
And it's really a fireside chat. What do you think about it? Okay, thank you for that question again. I think I'll look at it and say that, look, I think the first thing is women need to be comfortable being women. We're not, honestly, I don't think we should be fighting. We're not fighting. We're just saying we bring value to the table. And we want to demonstrate that. That's what we're asking for. We are 50% of the population. We want to contribute what we bring to, we are here, look, the biggest problem I think is, men cannot legislate for women. What do they understand about it? They cannot legislate for the girl child. It will be a difficult situation that they are guessing. They are guessing. So how do we make sure that women, first, we're comfortable being who we are, and we continue to speak to the things that affect us in every opportunity we get, right? There are many things that today, they're probably not, we don't know about them because they were not created by women. When a woman designs something, you know how to make sure women hear about it. You know where to go. You know that these are the people that will make this thing go viral. But men are doing these so-called policies and things to help women, but it's not going anywhere, right? One of the, I don't know many people are aware that BOI recently launched the 10 billion Naira fund for women. We have to make that kind of thing go viral because it's now policy become action that women must take advantage of. It's very important that, you know, we find WLAN is doing a great job of advocacy, improving policies. How do we make sure that the policies that have already been created for women get into the right female or women networks? That's part of the conversations that we need to have. And I'm excited about Her Assured, I think, because in a community like this, the idea is to make sure that the community thrives, the community has information, the community knows what is available to women that is unique and prepared specifically for women. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that. It's interesting that you mentioned around legislation for women and men not being in a best position to do that, because it just sort of brings to mind the question around women representation in politics. Somebody was saying to me that in the whole of the Senate, there are only 4 women out of 100, and I mean, that is not good enough. It's not good enough. Particularly, well, 3, in fact. Sorry, I stand corrected. Oh, well, because of the suspension. Okay. Well, I'm not delving into that. Let's just... But the issue for me is, what would it take to get more women interested in politics? When you mentioned your grandma's story, I want to believe we have come a long way from that. But having 3 out of 196 or whatever is not good enough. So what do we need to do to encourage our women to get involved in politics?
So, you know, I started with the fact that just be comfortable with who you are. I think you have to have it in you. My grandma was an action group member. She was she wanted to be part of politics. She was very big. It was her own calling. And the point I'm making is, I don't think we can force women to get into politics. I don't think we should. They're the ones that already want to do it. Those are the people we need to bandy around and make sure that they get there. So how do we recognize those people? How do we make sure that we then become their top encourager to make sure that they do get to the pinnacle? But I think when we think about it from elections, it doesn't end there. Where I find we are also very, very, very useful is how do we advocate for more positions for women that are appointed? Again, and not just, we don't want just any position. We want the good or the very critical positions where we can make a difference. I'm very excited because when I think about this current national or the federal administration, we have a woman in Ministry of Trade and Investment. We have a woman in the Central Coordinating Unit, which means I've heard everybody reports to a woman. in terms of performance. And these are the kind of critical positions that we want women to head. We don't want you to just put us in humanitarian affairs and say, you know, we want to do the real work. We want to, because we're excellent. We're excellent at our skills. We're excellent at delivering what we want to do when we do that. So yes, encourage women to go into politics if they want to, but I don't think we need to. We can still use women as technocrats and not necessarily as politicians.
Well spoken. But for those women that do make it, how do we make sure that they're actively shaping policies that actually, further the cause of women?
And maybe one thing I should have mentioned earlier is I think there's the big part of economic empowerment. Because if we have the economic power to support women, we will have a lot more of them on the ballot boxes.
Absolutely.
If they don't have to wait for godfathers, and if we need them, let's use them. But the point is, we need a lot of economic power as well. And how do we support more of them as they get into office is how do we make sure that they get the right people supporting their work as advisors, supporting their work. How do we organize this kind of town halls where they can have the information they need that provides quality policies that they are recommending? And we continue to sponsor it to make sure that it gets passed. We may not look at lobbying. Lobbying is an art, is a skill, and it is a profession in many jurisdictions. And absolutely nothing wrong with it. And that's part of why how we can also get more policies passed when we have the right kind of support to lobby for the right things that we want within government. Whether the House is full of 100% men, if we had the right, maybe I should use the word, the right sponsors, and we had the right power and money,
Yes.
we can lobby for the right things that we want.
Absolutely. No, we're 50% of the population, and you're absolutely right. If we have the economic empowerment, you can put as many women as you want in the House in the first place, because you then can, make sure that those women that do come forward actually get to the destination. But having said that, I mean, there's a lot of policies currently, and if you ask around, they'll tell you that yes, Nigeria is very good at making policies and guidelines. Enforcement is usually the problem, and it's no different when it comes to women issues. What do you think is the biggest reason behind this? And maybe dimension it further into, is it a question of political will or lack of awareness on our rights as women? What's responsible for that?
So let me use the Lagos State Domestic and Sexual Violence Act that started off in a container in Lagos. And it was really around making sure that it was addressed from a legal standpoint, and men, generally, maybe we say it was really around women that were getting domestically abused, and Lagos State wanted to address it. And it started from a container, but you know what happened? It was a woman again. And I don't know if anybody knows her. Titi Lola Revival. Yes, Adeni. She drove that thing by herself to what it is today. I have secured punishment for somebody who committed sexual violence. And that is the kind of commitment we have to give to these things. When she was, obviously she had allies, and they were men. And the Attorney General was a man, but he made sure that as she was committed to driving it. And that it happened for us in Lagos State. It became a law, it became an agency. It is now, you quote it when there's issue, whether at work, you can quote it at home, because my friend has reported her husband before. I'm not kidding you. She made a call and they picked him up. And people have seen, and look, I know too many examples of seeing that work. from a baby that was a desk in the legal department in Ministry of Justice to becoming what it is today, a standalone agency under the Ministry of Justice. So there are these things. So the question is, are we women, are we committed to the ones we know and the things? How many women are going to go and take advantage of what the new things that are being put out there for women? And however, I also think it's important that women drive it. Don't give it to a man to drive something that affects women. And back to that, because I think that's important, that we realize the man cannot understand it the way a woman will understand and feel for it.
Absolutely. And it's interesting that you've used the public sector example. And I feel that it's not just government that has responsibility for policies. Even in private setting, private organizations also need to sort of have a role to play when it comes to gender issues. So how can we, what are the ways that we support women, especially when it comes to things like pay parity, maternity leave, workplace harassment? Not that we have that problem, but it's a packed question.
Thank you very much. Honestly, it's going to fall on leadership. And the more women are in leadership, I think the more opportunity will come up for women for those kind of policies to make sure they make it into the books in the private sector as well. For women to speak up and not be penalized for speaking up is extremely important. You have to get to the point that once they say it, we want to investigate it. And every private, of course, that's going to be dependent on a board that understands and appreciates women. So it comes back to how many men are on the board, how many women are on the board. How do you table this issue? Who are the right sponsors you should ally with as women to make sure that the right policies are in place? Maternity leave is not a luxury. It is necessary. It's a necessity for any woman. Today is a right, but it's like we've come a long way. But sorry, in some jurisdiction, by the way, I hope you still know that it's still a luxury, that you can only take it for a few days. Anything outside that you pay. You lose your income for that. And how do we make it such that it's easy for women to re-enter the workforce, even after that season of having and raising children? I know that Lagos State was they're very pro-women. So part of what we have in Lagos State is, apart from when you finish your 6 months maternity leave, you have a 1 hour before and a 1 hour after for another 3 months. And it does make a world of difference. It makes a world of difference. But speaking, it's not just that. Also with pay, meritocracy must be the order of the day. It just, and it's going to be on leadership. So the more women get the opportunity to be in a place of leadership, please, 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 do everything you can to enshrine those things that will work for women in the policies. How do you make sure that, in fact, one thing that we did at Lagos State Employment Trust Fund was that we were going to be a clear leader. With our leadership had to always be at least 50-50. Always be at least 50-50. When I was the CEO, the directors were all women. I just couldn't. They were getting the job done. It wasn't that they were women. And they had what it took to get the job done. So why would I be shying away from it and say, oh, you need more men as well? I'm like, I agree, but they can do the other jobs as well. So please, they want to be head of admin, go ahead, apply. Like literally. But it's important that was enshrined. By the way, the chairwoman that started the policies was a woman. So she set those rules, and it's part of the DNA of that agency. So it's important that when we get the opportunity, we do everything to enshrine those rules, even in the private or the public sector. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I mean, I'm taking a segue from that because I speak to a lot of younger women, And part of the conversation centers around the fact that, going on maternity is going to, sort of affect my career trajectory. I'm going to put off having children till later in life. And I wonder sometimes, like, actually, you can have both. It's your right, because it's not your fault you came as a woman. But you have a responsibility to procreate, and you shouldn't be penalized for that. So when we're talking about advocacy and stuff like that, what practical steps can we take to encourage these younger women who perhaps feel that, they have to put their natural responsibility on the back seat just because they want to get ahead in the workplace?
Please don't. I think the first thing I would say, I personally had my 2 children when I was in Lagos State. I joined as a director and then had a child. So I took my 6 months maternity leave. I came back, and then in a few months, I became the CEO. So what I would say is, having children should not be your problem. It's how you begin to, how you make that interact with your life. The career is important, your children are more important, and you still have the family to balance, right? So the good thing is, the good life and work, how do you make sure you have a good work-life integration? The mistake you make is because you're having children, you're not learning. Every opportunity to learn something, every opportunity to contribute to something, every opportunity to develop yourself, don't take it for granted. Take it with the bull, like you're on maternity leave, there's a conference, please, one day with your baby at the back, nobody's going to chase you out, trust me. Do it because you are helping yourself. But don't get into work and every excuse is my baby, my baby, my baby, my baby. That's what begins to get irritating, and people are like, are you the first to have a child? And then evaluation comes up and they're like, please, I beg, that one is not serious. So they're going to discuss your evaluation again because, that one is not serious. So you must be able to find a great support system that works for you, that enables you to integrate your family life and that career at the same time.
Absolutely. Thank you. Okay, so we've talked about where we are now, just sort of looking into the future now. What does success look like? And I'm saying if we actually get advocacy and policy making right, maybe looking forward in the next 5, 10 years, what would success look like? And what would you say to every woman in this room? Maybe one specific thing that we can do as women in our little sphere of influence to push for better policies and better advocacy of women's rights.
In your little corner, do what you can. The next person, the lady who sits next to you in the office that needs a little bit of support, please provide it. That person who sometimes needs that, they want to say something that matters to them, be the listening ear.
Yeah.
Because some people will be on the brink of giving up and you don't even know. And if they don't know they have somebody they can talk to, they will give up. So being there in your little, look, nobody is too little. And, the interesting thing about it is, I have found where cleaners have encouraged me. They say something to you that day. They don't know where you're coming from. They don't know what it is you've gone through to get to where you are. But they say something to you. So anytime you get the opportunity to give somebody a very good compliment, please do it. Don't hide. Don't say, I beg, she's going to carry face. Even if she's frowning, your compliment might break the ice. Please do it. And of course, if you continue to grow in your career, every opportunity to be that person in that boardroom, speaking up for other women, making sure the right policies are in place, please, please do it. And it's from now. It's not until you get there that you want to start writing them. What are those things you already see and think and feel? Spread it. Say it to your boss. Say it to somebody in a nice way that, I think we could have a baby room for changing diapers. I think we could do better with creche, having a creche. We could do better with even letting people be aware that if they're on their period and they need to take the day off, it is okay. You are a woman. If it's painful, please be open about it. And I just think that there's everything every woman can do in their own little corner. Share a compliment, give women good feedback when they need it, and constructive feedback when they need it as well. And advocate for the right policies to be entrenched as soon as you get the opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Does she not deserve a better round of applause for that? I want to say a big thank you. I'm trying to make sure we keep to time, so we literally have 2 minutes. So I just want to use that opportunity to, first of all, thank you for your candid thoughts. I'm sure that our audience have enjoyed and have listened very attentively. I'm not sure if we have time for questions. I'm looking at the MC, but I can't. Okay, I can take 2. Okay, 2 questions. Okay, the lady right at the, it's, please go ahead, ma. I know she's.
Abracadabra.
Make magic happen.
Yes. Thank you so much. My question really, yes, I mean, a lot of things have been said and all of that. The question right here is that as women, because whether we like it or not, women are the greatest enablers and upholders of patriarchy or whatever wrong that is done to women. In this room, I want you guys to tell us how we can be better and uphold our fellow women. Thank you very much.
Please go ahead. And I can chip. Well, I'll chip in. I'll chip in. Go ahead. First.
Okay, so I definitely think that it's still that whole supporting every other woman. Be polite to women every opportunity you get. Pay a compliment. Do the policy when you can. Give feedback when you can. The littlest things, like every opportunity to be kind to another woman, please take it. I just think it's important that we don't wait till there's a big opportunity to do something and be a sponsor or a mentor to another woman, which is also very critical. Being mentoring other women or sponsoring them in the rooms they're not in, speaking up for the work the girl that nobody knows is doing. She's too shy. She's too in herself. Speak up about her work and give her those opportunities to shine. Make sure she gets it. And you curate it yourself, making sure she gets the opportunity to do that work in a public view. So I think that there are many ways we can also continue to support women. But if you don't have that kind of power, just pay a compliment to your boss, to your subordinates, every opportunity. Oh, I love the way you handle that. I love the way you spoke about that. I think they're all important points around supporting other women. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm just going to add 1 or 2 things. And it's really to say that every woman at every level needs support. Whether level, every woman needs support. And so it's always important that, we are kind of like each other's body, not, like stuck at the hip or anything, but you're able to speak to somebody that can encourage you. The second thing I've also learned over the years is that for us that are older, we should try and mentor the younger ones. Sometimes they don't have to go through the experience that we've had. They can learn from that experience. So you have younger women that are, still having babies, trying to juggle work and, and all of that. You can share ideas as to how you've handled it in the past. It helps a long way. So I think to cap it all is really to say, be there for one another. That's really the longest shot. Thank you. There's another question. Please go ahead, ma'am.
Hello, everyone. I'm sorry I came in late. I'm not sure of the slogan. Is it Abracadabra?
Abracadabra.
Creating magic.
Yes.
Okay, my question is around, I've been in the industry for a long time, and you can tell. I don't know about now, I know when we're there. We have some women in power, in leadership positions that are not women friendly, right? We agree. So when we have such people that are deliberately, because there's a belief that, oh, if you say, yeah, but because she's a woman, the woman will get lazy and stuff like that. So they have that belief, and it's enshrined in their mind. I've had terrible experiences with women leaders, which is why I know that many people say, I don't like a woman leader. I prefer a man to lead me, because I personally had a bad experience with a woman leader. But even now that there's so much talk about support and bringing up our fellow men that are capable and are ready to do the work, how do you handle such mindsets that are already set in their ways?
I will say I will quote two people. The first one, Mel Robbins, let them be. I'll be okay with you. The second one, Madeleine Albright, she says there's a special place reserved in hell for women who don't support women. Because women are going through a lot. And I can't, look, but again, I've learned that with this life, people are going through different things. I know a woman that we judged for years, but didn't realize what she was going through at home. As in, she was going through abuse, but she took it out in the office. So women too are going through a lot. And honestly, sometimes, if we're kind enough, if we give grace enough, so let them be themselves, and I will be myself. And I think it also helps us to be people it helps us to see what we don't want to be, and be clear about it. I've seen this, I am never going to be this. And let us just be always clear about that, and seek the help that we need to make sure we don't become that. So if I get grouchy, I tell people around me, I'm grouchy today, don't come near me. Today is not the day for this kind of conversation. I'm very clear about it. And of course, sometimes I have had to apologize for being very negative or being very mean or harsh about something. Saying sorry doesn't make you less than who you are. It's important as well. Thank you very much for that question.
And it's really to say that I think sometimes women would act out based on their own experience. The fact that you've had worked with a lady that was not supportive. My experience really is to look at outcomes. So it's not really about the person being at their desk 9 to 5. Are they delivering what you need them to deliver? Because I'm a woman, I can be very flexible and say, you know what, if you need to work from home, that's fine. What is most important to me is that you are delivering the requirements. If you meet the outcomes, problem. It's an important point for us as women to take on board. Because for those that are older here, in our days, there was nothing like working from home. But it helps the younger ones now that have so many challenges, and maybe they don't have a network support. So being supportive and understanding, but being firm in terms of what the outcome is, you still need to deliver your goals. I think it's a better approach to take. Thank you very much. I have to take this one. This is our CPU.
I'm asking the question on behalf of the ones who are not able to ask that question. Some women really have challenge with imposter syndrome. We would like to know what your thoughts around that is. What should they do? How should they navigate? Thank you.
The engineer wants to say something.
Everybody has imposter syndrome, including the men. It's not a women thing. So let's stop carrying that title that women have imposter syndrome. Madam, everybody does. Everybody second guesses themselves sometimes. It depends on where you find yourself. So please go ahead.
Thank you. And it's a valid question. But you know, something I learned was your confidence is actually in building yourself. You're not, I know a friend that is, she's probably on her 3rd PhD, all in the name of, am I enough? And every time we have the conversation, and she says, look, I just do it because I just need to know that I'm better than the next person out there. But I think for me, I think the most comfortable thing, and I just want to say it personally, I want to come from a very personal place, is knowing your identity, who you are. Yes, the days you will have the doubt, and people will try to make sure you doubt yourself. Don't forget. You go back to who you know you are. I'm a person of faith. I'm a Christian. I believe in the Bible, and I believe in what God says I am. And that's what I always go back to in the days of it is hard. But I think that's important because for some people, they find it from their certificates. In fact, I used it once. I was speaking in some very high-powered meeting. I started it with all my certificates. So it gave me myself the confidence to continue my conversation. I said, first, let me explain my background. So when I finish showing, and sometimes you need to recite it to yourself. Because you will remember that, Shebi is me. I went to this, I did this, I did this, I did this. Come on. Let's go there. And it's okay. And the days you would have to repeat it till it comes back, till your mojo comes back, literally. As in, there's absolutely nothing wrong. But what you don't want to do is not show up because you don't think you're enough. You are more than enough. And it's okay. Like literally, always say that to yourself. I am enough. I know who I am, and it is going to be, okay in the long run. The days you fall, pick yourself back up again and go for it. Personally, that's it.
Thank you very much. Just to add to that, I think everybody has that moment where they have self-doubt. And it's usually very helpful if there's somebody around you that's able to encourage you and tell you that, listen, girl, you're way better than this. You can do this. And I think personally that is how I have always approached it. If I find myself in a place where I'm doubting myself, there are people around me that I would talk to and say, I'm not feeling this thing. I don't think I'm even good enough. Maybe I should just pack it in. And they're like, you? So somebody's there to validate you and say, you're more than what you think. It's just a rough patch. You're going to get better and all of that. And that's where we all come in. Because sometimes that person could be the one sitting right next to you in the office and telling you, I don't think I want to go for this role because I'm not sure I can hack it. If you believe that they have the skill set, they have the technical capability, then as the woman next to them, you should be encouraging them. I've seen cases where you have somebody that's not been promoted for years, and it's just because the men didn't really take their time to understand our story and to also understand that she has specific skill set that may not be, tailored to what she's doing now. And we move her to another role, and she's excelling. So it's about also listening and trying to understand. This is for women that are sort of managing women. It's really important to be that listening here. Thank you very much.
Sorry, please, I have a comment, not a question. It was about the person who said that female bosses can be, somehow. But I want to say that sometimes I think we amplify, female bosses who are not doing the right thing. And I think we extend a lot of grace to male bosses. I want to say today that the worst boss that I worked with in my over 20-something years of career is male. And I can tell you that there was a trend last year on Twitter when people talked about working with the worst male bosses that you can think of. I'm not saying that women don't have their issues. And if you're telling me that you have an issue at home and then you are going to transfer aggression to me, I will not stand for it. But I'm saying that the same grace that we extend to male bosses who are not doing well is the same thing that we should do for female bosses, and stop amplifying fault of women generally, not just female bosses. Thank you very much.
So one thing very quickly. Sometimes women are harder because they feel that they have something to prove. So you don't want to be that boss lady that your team is not performing. And it's something that, it comes with the territory, because you get into the boardroom and the expectation is higher for women. That is a fact. So sometimes the woman does not have a choice but to go harder because they need results. But I always say do it with empathy and let people understand where you're coming from and why you're demanding certain things. There's a lot of hands up, and I'm really sorry. I'm looking at the time. I'm supposed to have finished 5 minutes ago. But there's a lady that she's literally like begging. Niyi, do I have permission to take one more? Please.
So what's it say? Abacadabra. Yes. Okay, so I wanted to go back to what Shola said. There's a book called Lean In by Meryl Streep, right? In that book, they had two groups of people, and they gave them the same write-up to read about two bosses. One boss was named Howard, the other boss was named Henrietta. But it was the same story. They just had two names. The very same write-up about one boss. They just gave the bosses two different names. One was named Howard, the other was named Henrietta. The group that analyzed Howard came up and said, that guy, he sticks to his guns. He's a very tough guy. He delivers. He knows his onions. But the group that analyzed Henrietta, they said she's too bossy. That kind of boss, I don't know. She's always too hard. But it was the same exact story. So I think really a lot of women and a lot of us, we allow ourselves to be stereotyped. When a woman does the same thing that the man does, they think, Obirini now. She's female. She's supposed to pipe down. And that is the major problem. We all have expectations of the female. We expect that because she's female, she should lower her expectations. And so when she doesn't, she comes across as being bossy. She comes across as being aggressive. That's on one side. On the second side, women, we're too used to bringing ourselves down. I'll give you an example. I ran for elections 2 election cycles ago. And when we had a meeting with the media, they said to us, we had a meeting with them, and we said they don't portray women politicians a lot. And they told us that, look, every time they ask for a woman politician, she's too scared to step forward. That the woman will not come. That they will not come. They're too busy thinking, how do I look? Is my makeup all right? No. That they said the women don't ever step forward. So I took my time to ensure that I always stepped forward when I was asked. So what they did was they had gotten used to not asking women. Because every time they asked the women they were not confident enough to stand forward. I think we women, we carry a lot of power. We carry a lot that we don't even understand it. And we need to begin to understand and realize it and be able to work with it. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your contribution. On that note, I'd like to thank you so much. We really had a fantastic session. Please appreciate her. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I really appreciate you. Can we say thank you to the Chief Financial Officer, Mrs. Yemisi Rotimi? Say thank you to her. And also, can we say thank you to the executive? I shouldn't say it. Former. Okay, to the former Executive Secretary, Lagos State Employment Trust Fund, Teju Apisori. Thank you so much, ma'am. And so we're not going to stop there. So please, can we have the CEO, Leadway Trustees, Shola Serede, please can you join us on stage? This person. Yes. Thank you so much, ma'am. Please, we're waiting for you. So for your track record and contribution to woman development, we're going to be presenting an award to you, and she's going to do just that for you. We really appreciate you. Thank you so much, ma'am. And to join them on stage, please, can we have the Chief People Experience Officer, Leadway Group, Kumbi Adeoti. And also we have Barrister Bimbola Salao Udeyin, the Secretary to the Lagos State Government, who is duly represented by Mrs. Teju Abisoye. No, this is Miss. Sorry. Let's just move on. Yes, thank you, ma'am. She's here. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mrs. Antonia. We really appreciate it. Already been, yeah. Thank you, ma'am. Please, hold on. Yeah, it wasn't Antonia already been. Thank you so much, ma'am. So words shape our reality, and today we have a spoken word artist who will inspire us and challenge us. Let's listen and absorb the power of storytelling. So can we call our guest performance, who is going to give us spoken words for today? Please give her a round of applause. Thank you. Abracadabra. 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 Thank you so much.
Abracadabra. Thank you. It's such an honor to be here today. This piece, I didn't even have time to give it a title, but it doesn't matter because it's supposed to show the strength that you have, and you don't need to actually carry any title that they give you. You have the ability to define whoever you want to be. Can we have the music? I hope you enjoy this piece. My mother told me a woman should be soft, feminine, compassionate, and nurturing. My father told me a woman should stand tall, fierce, yet gentle, but wise above it all. Society told me a woman must sway by the rules that they have made. She must learn to obey and show the world a quiet grace. To that I disagree. But now that I've come of age, I've come to know that a woman is more than all they say. A woman is a crackling flame, a vibrant energy that turns challenges into opportunities. A woman is the storm that shakes the very ground beneath her feet, a catalyst for a change. A woman is everything that she's meant to be. She's the tempest and the peace. She can jolt the world awake or hush it all to sleep. A woman is strength, resilience, wisdom, courage, a symbol of beauty and tenderness that is not a weakness. A woman is power and balance. You can check through history. A woman is influence. And she knows her value is higher than the things that try to scare her. She not only stirs the broth, she stirs minds to work. She knows that softness can bend an unyielding metal. She inspires others till she sees the change she wants. She knows her voice is louder than a roaring thunder. She builds her family, economy, and she is the harmony. This woman knows there are more lands to conquer, more glass ceilings to shatter. This woman, most importantly, knows that she is more than what they call her. She is the storm. She is the calm. She is the force. She is the fire. This woman stands assured, knowing that she's a flame. And this flame would never be tamed or smothered. This woman is you and I, empowered, building legacies and making histories together. Thank you.
A woman is me. A woman is you. A woman is the world. Thank you. Women rule the world. Do you agree? Do you agree? Thank you so much. And that's why we are here and we are going to create magic. Thanks to a short Leadway group, and we really appreciate that. So now moving forward, we have a panel session. And this panel session, they are going to be discussing Beyond the Manifesto, Turning Advocacy into Action. So now it is going to be moderated by the Team Lead Relationship Management, HNC Leadway Pension, Rainatu Omolamia. Omolamai. Wow. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Abracadabra. It wasn't loud enough. Abracadabra. So today we are creating magic again. All right, so you permit me to please sit while I invite those who would anchor this with me. So it's a pleasure to be here today. My name is Rahinatu Omolamai. And today we're going to be talking about, be going beyond just talk. We're talking about, the advocacy itself, beyond the advocacy now. I would invite, excuse me. All right, so thank you. So in this panel, we'll now be discussing how to turn advocacy into action and then moving away from the regular conversations about gender equality, career growth, and social progress. And we're talking about real measurable change. I won't be doing this. I will just be moderating. We have experts who are here to share their insights and who have excelled in these areas and are making an impact and making a difference in their areas, in their careers and in the fields that their various endeavors. So please, I would ask before we go on, is there any time any one of us here had to prove who you are in a room or just try to rear your head out up there because you are a woman? I hear all the time. Isn't it? Now, there's a lot of talk, there's a lot of noise. I've attended so many events for women this month. We are really, really taking the bull by the horn this time. And we're trying to make impact and make change and taking what we deserve, isn't it? All right, so to do this, I would like to invite each of the panelists to the stage here with me, but you would please clap for them after I have read out all their very mighty profiles. I'll make it very brief. All right, so for the first person, I'll be inviting Oluwatosin Olasende. She is the founder of Money Africa and Ladder. She's impacting impacting over 1 million people through financial literacy and investment education. She's been recognized globally, World Economic Forum Young Global Leader, LinkedIn Top Voice in Finance, and a Mandela Washington Fellow, and has shared her insights on CNN, BBC, TEDx, and other platforms. Please welcome Oluwatosin. You're welcome. So right next to her, I will be inviting somebody, we have heard her voice already, Engineer Chichi Emenike. She's a veteran with over 26 years experience in the oil and gas, and one of the few female leaders in an industry that remains male-dominated. As acting MD at Nakode Energy, Limited, she manages multi-million-dollar projects, investment strategies, and asset expansion in Nigeria's energy sector. She's a fellow of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, NSE, and a founding member of Women in Energy Network. She is a strong advocate for more women in STEM and executive leadership. You're welcome, madam. All right, moving on, I would like to call on the last but definitely not the least, Kumbi Adeoti. She's a strategic HR leader with over 25 years of experience in corporate transformation. She is the Chief People Experience Officer at Leadway Group, overseeing workforce development across industries. She's a member of the Forbes Human Resource Council, a mentor and a board advisor, driving conversations around talent, leadership, and inclusion. You're all welcome. You can see the profile of ladies that we have who are going to be talking about the things we're talking about, driving change. All right, so we'll be moving right into it. Okay, so I would start with my first question. My first question is directed to you. So we're talking about advocacy versus action. Where do we still have a gap? Now, to answer that, I would just like to put some flesh around this conversation. Many brands, organizations, and individuals advocate for women empowerment, right? Yet we still face these systemic barriers like underrepresentation in leadership. You have built platforms, have empowered people with financial knowledge, yet financial exclusion remains a major issue for women. What needs to shift from just awareness to real financial autonomy for women?
I really love that question. Thank you so much for having me here. With regards to advocacy and action, of course, we hear lots and lots. It's International Women's Month, and I'm a founder, and we've had to raise money. And I was even having a chat with my girls in our WhatsApp group and just talking about how women have access to only 2% of VC funding, right? And there are a couple of VC firms that were seeing talking about International Women's Day, but they are not funding women. So we also have to be able to draw that line between advocacy and action. Advocacy is great, but we want to see more action. And when we're talking about action, it's honest transparency and asking ourselves as a company, even us, like I remember when we started building, I've never had any experience in tech. I've always been in finance all my life. And here we are building a tech company. I looked into the tech room, and we only had about 20% women, right? And I was like, oh my gosh, I called our CTO, I said, we have to fix this. As of today now, we have a 50-50 balance, and it requires intentionality. So everyone has to go back to the drawing room. As of 2 or 3 years ago, I had an 80-20 on my team, and I'm a woman leader. If that can happen to me, how much more other people? So advocacy is great, but we want to see more action. Action, action, action. Today we're at an insurance, Leadway is a leading insurance firm, but let me even give you an example. I had health issues, and I noticed that lots of insurance companies do not cover autoimmune diseases, right? It affects women 4 times more than other kind of disease. So these conversations are very important. I've shown you where we had gaps, and other people, just even look at the engineering sector, look at the funding, look at the VCs. We all have to go back to the drawing board and ask ourselves, where's the gap? Where can we take more action? Where's the gap? Where can we take more action? And that's why we just have to start pushing so we can see more action. And advocacy is great, but we want to see more action. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Very valid points there. So what's one financial habit women need to build immediately to step closer to real autonomy?
For financial habits that they have to build it's risk, taking risk. So with the nature of our work, we have over 200,000 communities, and I'm using that based on data. We've had women on the platform for over 4 years, and guess what? They still have not made a move. They have money in the bank, but they've not been able to make that move. And we have to be able to take risk. Based on data, once women start investing, they are better investors than men because we know how to manage risk. We're fantastic savers, but the problem is taking that risk and betting. And you have to bet. The real money, saving is great. It will serve its purpose. But if you really want to build wealth, you have to bet. You have to go and invest. So switching and flipping them from the savings, moving over to investing is where the hard work is. But once they get there, they're fantastic investors. Because one of the biggest risks with investing is people taking too much risk. They take too much risk, they lose everything. And women are fantastic. So once they get there, they're great risk managers. So we want them to just start investing more. So to all the women in the room, you're excellent savers. We want you to start investing. Thank you.
Very simple. We need to save, and beyond saving, start to invest. Take the risk today. This is financial empowerment, isn't it? All right, so thank you very much. Then my next question goes to you, engineer. Okay, all right. So the question is this. How does advocacy translate to action for women in their careers, business, or politics? You've had an incredible career in a male-dominated field. A lot of Nigerian women want to break barriers, whether in their careers or even in politics. What are some practical ways that can push past challenges and turn these ambitions into reality?
Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. I think I will stand on the protocol that's been established and go straight to the point. So I think the thing here is we need to start walking this talk. All right? The theme for this year is accelerating action. And we need to start in our own small little spaces. So whether it's in your family, whether it's in the church, even before you end up in the workplace, who are you reaching out to? Who are you helping? Who is the woman sitting next to you that you're trying to encourage? What are you being very deliberate about? The word is being very deliberate. Because I give you an example. I always like to use myself. I've done 27 years of engineering, oil and gas, upstream, mid, and downstream. And it has not been an easy journey. I'm one of those who have risen and walked my way through the ranks. And trust me, I have good men who have helped, but it's not an easy environment. So there's a lot that I've done to be where I am. See, whatever industry where you find yourself, please understand, business is business. It's not a gender conversation. I've continued to say this all the time. Delivery, KPOs are important. When you have a team lead, whether it's a man or a woman, if you understand performance management systems, you will understand, and even if you want to use it in your home, if the man is going to succeed, if the parents are going to succeed, it means those who are under are helping, because that's how we succeed as a team. Now, how do you on a team understand where you are playing? You need to prepare for it. There has to be continuous development. I see a lot of the young ones coming up today. They spend so much time lazing away, complaining in the office, gossiping, joining and talking about how HR is bad. How does that help you? How does that help you? Please get on the internet. There are many places where you can do free courses, where you can get certified. Be deliberate about putting yourself up front. Okay? But you need to prepare, because you see, I'm a woman. Yeah, thank you for all the people talking about women leads. But trust me, I'm not going to put you on my team because you're just a girl. I'm not even putting you because I want you to serve tea. I want you to deliver on the job and prove to the men you can do the job. But guess what? You have to prepare for it. So you have to train yourself. You have to go sometimes the extra mile. I will pull you sometimes and we'll go to the back and we'll cry there, and I may slap you with the left hand and tell you, my friend, don't mess me up, or we're going outside there. You're not going to show them that you're weak. But you have to prepare, because trust me, some of these men are waiting for us to fail. So we have to be in a place where we stop talking too much. Someone talked about the encouragement. It is real. Sometimes you see the women in the offices. Somebody just needs to talk to you because you've had that experience. call them in the back end, whatever you can proffer as help. There's always a support system that you need to be conscious of and build it. So it could be your mother-in-law, it could be your mother. Please, not all the mother-in-laws are terrible, please. It could be your mother-in-law, it could be your mother, it could be a good neighbor, it could be a good friend. There's always a support system in the back that you can rely on, just because of the way life has structured for us. But you need to understand, today I had a team that is over 500. I just, look, by the way, I just came in from Abuja this morning just to be able to honor this invitation. I took a first flight out. Yeah, but I was in NNPC the whole of yesterday and the past week. But I had to be here. Because, you see, some of these town hall meetings that we're holding, we need to be more deliberate about showing up at it. If they call you, honor it. It might be an extra stressful. I have 2 daughters. I have 4 children. 2 of them are girls. They are entrepreneurs. And they've bought their own Jeeps. Let me be specific. They've bought their own Jeeps. They've moved out of their house. And I tell them, any man that you're meeting with, start from that place where you have stopped. We have to be serious about it. The girls in the family, encourage them. I don't say be rude, but speak up. I know the society has fashioned us in such a way when you enter, people just feel you shouldn't talk. Please talk and make sense. Because we women, when we talk, we do make sense. And we tend to remember a lot of things. Yes, please, let's be deliberate about it. Because if I take my time out to come, and if you see, mentorship is another part of it. And I tell 1,000 people reach me every day to mentor. And I tell them, please be worth my time. Okay, it's like an elevator pitch. Yeah, I'm so busy. If I'm giving you my time, maybe 30 minutes, 1 hour, please honor that time and make sure we're making sense out of it. It's like an elevator pitch. You get into an elevator sometimes, you don't expect, you meet a big man. What are you going to say before you move from the ground level? Don't waste my time, because that's how we're going to build a tribe that cannot be brought down. We're not joking about this. If you come to the oil and gas industry, it is poor. The figures are bad. We understand it, but we're encouraging. So even on the, look, I do a lot of pro bono work. So I'm a founding member of Women in Energy, Nigerian Society of Engineers, Association of Professional Women Engineers, Nigerian Gas Association. I'm a vice president there. So, but it's hard work. It's hard. I still have, my husband is at home complaining. He's one of the biggest babies. Please, you people should not tell him. He requires attention too, and I have to be intentional about that as well, because my marriage will suffer. I don't want it to suffer. These things are real. But where we can, all the girls, so Neka Obi is there with me. She's in Women in Energy. We're being very particular about the young girls, starting from the bottom to talk to them. Talk to them. There are girls in your families. You don't need to go far. There are girls in the church. Encourage them. Sometimes this thing that we do as mathematics and engineering looks so big and scary. Yeah, it's not easy, but if someone can explain it. When I did engineering, I think in a class of maybe 30, we're only 2 girls or 3. We're running with the boys and all that. It's improving now, but of course, there's still work to be done. So, I mean, what I've tried to do, I've not used big words. I've just tried to give you real-time actions that I know that can work. So, bottom line and in summary, in every little space where you are, where you find yourself, you in your financial inclusion and stuff, you, madam, with the insurance and all, we all have to start pitching in small. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So many things there. I had prepared in my head some follow-up questions I was going to ask you, but you have answered them. Yes, you have answered them.
Sure thing. You know, one thing women, why I find out, because for instance, we do oil and gas and we talk, why can't the women even do small to medium scale projects, you know, the $1 million projects? You know why? Because the women always want to overthink everything. You know, because we're very good. You want to think it end to end. If you meet a man today and just say, hey, can you build a pipeline from Escravos? You say, yes, we can build it. Where my guy? Where's this guy? If I have guys, I have team, I have strategic partner, I have technical partner. The women will say, hey, who will I call now? Okay, you sure if I talk now? Please, one of the things about what we've seen real time, the women tend to want to, I'm not saying you shouldn't think through. Okay, there's a scientific approach to life and to projects and to success. There is a path for science there, truly. But don't overthink it. That is where a lot of the women kill it. Thank you. Sorry, I just wanted to add that.
Thank you very much. So we've learned there has to be a balance. We need to be able to strike a balance. And I mean, it's a we might find ourselves in male-dominated territories or career, but we can excel. And we can only do it if we bring something to the table. What are we bringing to the table? Knowledge. We must equip ourselves and get prepared and always take opportunity. When it's time to talk about things that really matter, we should not cower. We shouldn't hide. We should always put ourselves out there and we would excel. Thank you very much. All right, so my next question goes to you, Kumbi. Advocacy, what does advocacy mean for different women, right? And then advocacy is not a one-size-fits-all. We have found that out. And a lot of time, advocacy sounds like the big thing that only activists do. But then, if we show up to the regular woman's life, whether it's in her early stage, the middle career period, or in her 40s when she's trying to get her, leave a legacy, what do you think advocacy can mean for different women at these different stages of their life?
Thank you, Rainat. And it's good to see you, even though you are sitting on my money. She understands the language. Okay. So, I'm not even too sure it's about just advocacy. Advocacy is speaking out about the gaps that there exist and saying we should be doing. I think one of the first things we should look at is to look at the journey of a woman. And when we look at the journey of a woman, you start to ask yourself, just like she said, what should happen at the younger age, probably from age 16 below? What should we be telling that generation on how to position? I'll give you an example. I went to Federal Government Girls College, Oyo. I had a principal at the time, and she used to tell us something. Girls are seen, not heard. Imagine the generation of girls that went through listening to that and absorbing that as their truth, because that is an impressionable age. If you ask me in terms of advocacy, what we should be doing, I did something around October last year. I went to my alma mater back because I realized that the thing I was told at that time was detrimental to my own growth. And yes, I'm a Christian, just like the former secretary was saying where she was here. There's a part of the Bible that says, open your mouth. Psalm 81:10. And it expects me to talk. The doctors of Zelophehad, they spoke. Why should you claim their right? So why would I learn from childhood to keep quiet? Advocacy at that point means going back. What can we do for that bracket to begin to teach boldness, to begin to teach integrity? If we look at the fabric of our society, we tend to celebrate mediocrity. How do we tear that fabric from that age and infuse and reshape our educational curriculum for the girl child to begin to know that they have a voice, that there's a whole vision, there's a future ahead that they can become? And then if you move from that generation of 16 upwards to 21, it's a different ball game where you begin to try to find your feet on who are you, what profession am I coming into. This is where we need the bracket of age 40 and above to begin to talk. Start an experience group where you are speaking about your experiences, where you are enabling people to shape their career. So for you who have done engineering, well, I ran away. I started as metallurgical and materials engineer. And somehow I landed in economics. Today I talk about people and I talk about experience. But guess what? I still love technical drawing. I still love building technology. If I sit down and look at any technological piece, as a matter of fact, in the home, if you bring any gadget today, there is a 9/10 chance that I'm going to be the person to arrange it, not my husband. That is still very much embedded in me. So if we have children, girls who have shown affinity, who have shown capabilities, and we have experienced people, the question is we should now start to talk about those experiences that have shaped us. Yemisi mentioned something. We should not permit the generation that is coming to make the mistakes we've made. What should be happening is they should be leapfrogging over our own experience so that they can geometrically progress beyond that which we have progressed. And then when we come to the middle age bracket, we need to look at the workplace, we need to look at the business environment and begin to ask us, and begin to speak about those. Even at this point, we still need those people who have, you know what? You were speaking about your experience. When I was in telecoms, I worked on a project. I was in the male-dominated environment. I was in charge of the technical group. There were over 420. I actually worked on a project that moved 427 employees, guys. I think we only have just about 2 or 3 females amongst them from what was, well, what you know as Airtel today to Ericsson, and worked on a project with IBM. Come on, how do you survive in that kind of environment where you are talking to men and they are looking at you? But of course, I have to stand up. So I'm at that point in my life where I have to start talking about those experiences. That starts to speak to someone that, yes, you can. There's nothing as predominantly male environment until we start to groom people who can confront those challenges and be there. And then when you are at that upper level, there's something that you have said about financial planning, because that journey should have begun even from that age 16. We are setting aside, you're setting aside. But at that middle age, how do you invest in a way that can take care of your older age such that you can still have a voice in the society and not be dependent? A number of these things are about talking, it's about mentorship, it is about coaching, it's about creating deliberate communities as we have done today, and ensuring that there is knowledge and there's experience sharing that enables others to grow. And of course, where we can have policies within sub-policies, where we can support one another in organizations or in businesses. How do we do that even across true partnerships, ecosystems that will deliver that value? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I was taking mental notes. One of the things I really heard you say from the very beginning is we need to all go back. I think in our foundations, if we all go back, we would find where we were not taught right in terms of how a woman or who a woman should be and where she can lend her voice. And it behoves on us, it's our responsibility to now go back and handhold those women coming up, those girls, those ladies, young ones, and try to retrain them so that they can now understand that they should have a voice, and it has to be to start early. So it's our responsibility as women. All of us have that responsibility. Now, I have a follow-up question for you. From your experience, at what stage of a woman's career or life seems to be the part where she struggles the most with, taking action?
The struggle is real. The struggle starts when it's not even just at the entry level. At the entry level, there's some bit of struggle. I think when you begin to get to the point of 5, 6 years in your career because things start to happen. If you are unmarried, society starts to speak against your singleness. And you have to deal with that. How do you navigate that path? And it's not just the society, even the workplace. You would hear comments like, Egbe eti loko, o lenumbi. Your mates are married. Why? What makes you think you can talk to me like that? I've heard guys say that to women. And you have to deal with that. Psychologically, that breaks you. It immobilizes you. And even the value that you carry inside of you, you struggle to even deliver it. And then within family circles, it becomes a different, you say, even your own mother would say to you, sorry, it's just memories. I remember after my NYC program and all that, my mom said to me, you have to bring someone home. I said, I've heard. So I told her, but I need to do my master's. I had started working, so I finished. And she told me she would do a master's party for me if I bring a guy home. And that's why I said the struggle is real. This is my own mother. And guess what? I arranged with a friend because I wanted a party. Yes, I was more interested in the party. So, but I brought a guy home to show her. After all, I will say he's not working. It's transactional. But those are the kind of pressure that you get. And then I've had to sit amongst my aunties where they did family meeting and ask me, Kilo nshi, otife 30. You know? So, and that messes your mind when you are back at work because whether we like it or not, we hear voices. And the voice you yield to determines what happens to you, what actions you take. There's that bit. And if you are blessed enough, you are married, then you have kids. Then you don't have a house help. You're in trouble. You're near naked. And if the guy is the one who will go from morning till night, he comes back, he's with a circle of boys, he's smelling like he just got out of brewery, and you have been in all day, you're struggling with work, you didn't finish it, you brought your laptop home, baby is crying, you are strapping, you are trying to play, I don't know what they play now, sorry, it's been a while, but, okay, baby shark, and whatever. I did Bunny those days, and I had everything Bunny. I had everything. You know, you put the child in the rocker. At the same time, you're cooking. At the same time, you're running back to the laptop, and you feel like you're running crazy. It's real. At that time, most people go through serious mental health issues. You see women show up, they don't know what their hair looks like. They probably forgot to iron. You just pull up one thing in the wardrobe and then you just get going because you want to show up. It is that middle age bracket that the pressure mounts. I spoke to a number of women. I had a friend. She just had a baby. She had waited for 7 years before she got the first one. So when the baby came, we were all joyful, you know, going on maternity. The day she resumed was the day she found out she was pregnant again. So you are all saying her is a fellow woman like you. And then you can imagine the pressure of coming back to work. She nearly became depressed, you know. But it happened. Oh, by the way, you want to ask, she had all the birth control measures. They just failed. Simple. And those things failed. I have a friend who the child brought out with holding the coil and said, carry your thing. I am not part of this plan. What do you do in such instances? And guess what? The people who are forced to victimize them are women like us. And so, So where organizations can put scratches, where you can pay, if you want people to, if we have pool of, if you know nanny academies and you want to support for people to subscribe, or a background check system, something that can enable that middle bit, because as at that time is when you're about to shoot up in your career. It's about that time when the children are growing and you're starting and they're coming up. They need the attention. You've just been called from school. There's PTA. They expect you to show up. You are expected to do all the assignments. The child showed up. You are looking for lesson teacher. Lesson teacher is coming, and then lesson teacher, your daughter tells you, lesson teacher was touching me like this yesterday. You don't want to. And then maybe you come back. I have a friend that the driver impregnated the house help. You know, and this is that point that things really go mad. The question is, how are we enabling one another at that point? At the entry point, it is manageable. At the top, it is hard because it is lonely. You've got to find people who are going through, because the pressure not just to prove yourself, the pressure of performance, because you own the responsibility at business level, at organization. If you don't do the business, your staff don't eat. Simple. There's nothing to eat. The pressure is different. You can still find a support system, but that middle part is hellish.
Thank you very much. So those are the career building years. Those years when we really need support. So back to us in the house, ladies. That period when we need the support the most is also the time when we should realize that we also need to give the support. It's our responsibility, one and all. When a woman is struggling, we already understand that phase. If I take it as a responsibility to say I want to ensure that I am not adding to the stress of a woman, it would go a long way to ease this pressure that is already there. Okay, and then if I listen very well, when Madam Chichi was talking, she talked about, that's earlier in the day. The stereotypes, we need to break that stereotype. Everybody has it. If we think a woman goes under a lot of pressure, but she can excel, we have the same opportunities. Men also go through the same thing. However, like Shola also said, we tend to amplify the problems that the woman has more. And a lot of the time, we women are the ones guilty of this amplification. So lend a helping hand to a woman today. Sponsor a woman today in terms of how you behave towards a woman. All right, so my next question goes to you, Tosin. All right. So female entrepreneurs finding their balance or finding funding within the entrepreneurial ecosystem, right? Women-owned businesses still struggle with funding, mentorship, and access to even the markets. Women supporting women sounds like a great idea, but just in theory, how do we move beyond just the words to real financial and structural backing?
Awesome. Okay, great. So with regards to the funding and how women can access credit amongst others, so for instance, in the whole of Nigeria, the access to credit is just about 8%. And of that 8% that everybody has access to, what women get access to is minuscule, smaller than the 20%. So it's really, the access to credit is really tough. However, you also need funding in order for you to grow that business. So every time I'm speaking to women, there are two ways to look at it. Number one, the one that is within your control, and the other one that is outside of your control. So you can put in applications, you can do all these great things, but if you're not getting the funding, what do? We love to preach about unit economics. So for the first 3 years of our business, we had to bootstrap because I understand the obstacles I'm up against, right? So just basically doing unit economics and seeing how the business is going to run itself. By the third year, we're able to get access to funding. We raised about $500,000 across both companies. So how did we do that? Or what would I say to women entrepreneurs hoping to do that? Unlike of your peers that might be able to raise funds with a pitch deck or a strong team, they want to see traction. They want to see what you're capable of. So in those first teaming years, you have to be very aggressive about the numbers, right? Showing the numbers, showing the traction, what is possible. Another way as well is for us to leverage on our community. So the first time I was trying to raise funds, 3 different women that I do not know from anywhere, they were just community members. They gave us checks of about $3,000 each. So I got $12,000 from women that are not related by blood, that are not my friends. So from a practicality point of view, just basically using what is in your hands in order for you to be able to scale, and then looking for how can we then access that market. Also, in terms of applications, it's a numbers game. We put in application of over 100 applications in 2023, and only 8 came back to us. Yes. So in 2023, when we got into MasterCard EdTech Accelerator, that was like about $100,000. And then we got into NSI. It felt like we were the hot cake and we were winning things, but we had applied to over 100 opportunities. So you need to be very aggressive, shooting those numbers so that at least one will bounce back at you. So those are like the main things. And then the last but not the least, every woman needs other women founders. You have to find them, like a mastermind community. So when this BOI funding came out that is 10 billion, immediately we found it. How can we apply? What can we rally? What will give us the best? You need those people. You have to go and find them and just create your own small little community so we can keep helping each other. And then the last and the very last, not to the list as well, is you also need male allies. So we want to start speaking to them, right? Because they sometimes know of opportunities that you might not know of, and we want those opportunities. So we want them in our circle. We want to speak with them. We want them to also put in introduction for us and also sort of help us in order to get into that pie that we might ordinarily not have access to. But in summary, please do not beat yourself up. It's a system thing, right? So I've seen people with, like now, there was a company that raised $30 million, and it seems like they've let go of all their entire staff. Imagine that $30 million was in the hands of women that they will sweat that asset. I know they will sweat it, right? So don't beat yourself up. It's not your fault, right? You're doing the work, you're not getting that far. Don't be so, but the one that is within your power, let it be known that you did your very best. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So we're hearing you. It's systemic. We cannot come and kill ourselves, but we have to keep trying. We have to keep sending in the applications. The thing is, the odds are against us, but we have to just keep throwing it in there. If she's saying that over 100 applications were sent out and only 8 came back, it means that we have to keep throwing. If it means it's like in 10, we get 1. So we have to just keep trying. If you need 100, you know what it means. You have to send like 1,000, all right? So also, we cannot act in isolation. We have to work with people. Let's look for the people who have excelled in this and work with communities. We also need the men. Yeah. So sometimes they have access to information, like she said. Let's leverage them and see what we can get out of there. Thank you very much. So my next question goes to you, Chichi. Now we're talking about the gender gap, stereotypes, and patriarchy. Right? What's the real way forward? Women still earn less than men for the same roles. Traditional roles still limit career growth, and patriarchal norms continue to dictate what's acceptable for women to aspire to. What strategies have worked for you in breaking these barriers, and what do we need to do? What do we need to start doing differently?
Okay, so I will take some of the experience first from the corporate mindset. Okay, so the operative word here, all you've spoken about is the patriarchal thing. You can't take that out from who we are, even as a people will address you. You come down from the car, or sometimes you give people money and say, "Thank you, sir." Or a man comes to serve at the table, and he just automatically thinks he should turn to the man and address him. You're talking, on the table. Sometimes it might shock you. Some high-level tables, I've been on several, and they want to address the men and not address me. So at those places, announce it very well and talk to them. But anyway, pardon? Thank you. We've seen a lot. It seems as if this particular Women's Month, there's plenty things we saw that brought us to bear, all right? So let's start it first. First things first. Those of us that work in the corporate environment, the corporate space, start first with being deliberate about the policies that you encourage, all right? Let there be corporate governance that supports the women, the structure. Let it speak across board. So if you have XYZ skills, let it suit for everybody, male or female. Yes, irrespective of the gender. Remember, I also told you that business is business. Every investor does not know whether it's male or female. Every investor puts in money. So you see the thing you said about finance? Let me tell you the truth. Finance worldwide is challenged today. It's only worse here because we have a challenged economy. To attract finance into Nigeria today is trouble. I deal with a dollarized industry. You can imagine every investor is giving you that money and expecting it plus X. He's not Red Cross. He's giving you money because he's going to go to do this, the circle and repatriate to him plus something. If not, he will take it and go to Mozambique, or he will take it and go to God knows where. That's how the way these guys are, provide finance is. So the thing here is, first of all, we start at the HR level, and that's why at the back end, I always call the women for our tete-a-tete to tell you, prepare yourself for, I won't be there to be supporting you if you can't meet up. Prepare yourself, show that you can do the job. If they give you a task, sometimes I see myself like holding in place the kind of, the kind of job I have as holding it in trust for other women. Because if I fail, many women are going to feel very discouraged. We're not many. If you come to the oil and gas industry, E&P to be specific, there are not many that sit at, I don't even think there's any other woman that sits on this level. Yeah, heading and producing crude and gas. We produce 47,000 barrels today. And we have gas that we're producing. And we're doing JV business with NNPC. So everything, anything you want to think about, whether it's technical, whether it's stakeholder management, or all of that is a continuum. I have to keep, replicating myself in places and making sure that I'm up to. You don't come and wear this thing of, you have to learn. You're a leader, you serve. So it's starting in the HR space, number one. Number two, the mindset thing that we talked about in the little groups that we have. What she said is real. Like I say, for instance, I have daughters who have told, nobody will put you, you are not going to be rude, but just make sure you understand what is required for whatever position you are given. And please, whatever position you are given, please, can you step up to your game? Can you? Many women think this is the place to come. It's not about fashion. Nobody likes fashion more than myself. But trust me, it's not what I discuss in the workplace. That's not what we're talking about here. Prepare yourself, because there will be a D-Day that will draw down on that preparation that you've made some time backwards. That is when people start talking about grace and luck and all that. The truth is, you prepared somewhere. Because that day is coming, and it might not even give you notice. Like I said, it's like an elevator pitch. You might just be in the midst of some important people, and what you say in just 2 to 3 minutes. I always make sure wherever I go, they always ask, who is that engineer Chichi Abeg? They should go and call her. It's a deliberate attempt, but it has come from a place of preparation over the years, constant training, all right? So in the workplace, all the other things that you talk about, ma'am, the assistance that we, especially when we are at that level, so whatever we can do to help, work from home. We're lucky that these days COVID brought us into the realization of such possibilities. Some of us didn't have it when we started out. So working from home, even the support system right there, even yourself being a boss, being a woman who probably have had children before, can relate to those things. It's not all about we have men too who are terrible bosses. Yeah, we do. I've seen plenty of them, trust me. But just remember that, I think it was, you're not jollof rice, eh? Everybody doesn't have to like you. You just have to make sure you're doing good at what you are being given. And continuously, make sure you earn your place at the table is very important. So nobody comes around tomorrow and says she was given this just to balance the numbers. No, I don't even play that game, because for where we sit, we just have to deliver. So whether you take it from the HR level, whether you take it from the training and development level, whether you take it with the support system from the bosses like us that understand, the thing there, ma'am, in summary, is we're on a journey. It's better than where we're coming from, but it's not a hurry yet, not at all. Once you step out just downstairs now, somebody will act one thing that will remind you that we're in a place where we need to start talking to these men. I mean, I'm very cautious on my team. I tell the men, there's some things I tell the women in my team. You can't accept all those funny, small jokes. What's that? There are some things women had just think is nice. The men, some of them don't even know. Just pass you some comments and don't dress funny, sometimes to encourage what you shouldn't encourage. Sometimes some of them don't know. But unfortunately, it puts you in that disposition where somebody reads another message altogether. Instead of looking at your technical capacity, they are now looking at behavioral, which in itself, for those of us that do performance management, can destabilize everything you think that the person has brought to the table with technical, core, competent technical skills. So that balance is a continuous reminder to the women, to the girls on my team. If I give you something, coordinate yourself, behave yourself, talk like you should talk. You don't come there and be smiling on everybody. Yeah, when we want to smile, we can smile inside. Don't, because sometimes they just misunderstand it because they want to misunderstand it, because they think it's their place. Somebody talk to you and say, this is your dress. Why? And you'll be smiling with him. What for? These things are real. They are real. I know someone who was, she works in the oil and gas, she's my family member. She had someone she was smiling to, but the guy pulled her by the corner one day and gave her a kiss. But she was shocked because that wasn't, she just thought she had a work body that she was so close with. But he misunderstood it and it happened. No, let's not sweep things under the carpet. These are realities of what happened. And the minute you get that into a workspace, then you begin to see many things. You see this big thing that we have happening. People don't want to talk about it. We'll go near it. We'll go near it more. You see that thing we have happening there? If you go back and check, there may have been some conversations that were held that shouldn't have held, in some funny nuances that played up that the line should have just been drawn there and there. Yes, draw the line, even if you don't want to be too harsh, because they will come for you. That's just the truth. When they don't like, they will always come for you. I'm just trying to break down these things because let's not try to make it all high level. We stand up on the daily, go to work daily. We see these things daily. And the best we can do is to, even if you want to bring in the Christian, angle, like you said, so run with some of the things, for those of us that are Christians, run with some of the standards that the Bible runs with. The Bible says it's the little foxes that's the place the trouble starts from. So curb it in the beginning. So you should be known as someone who runs with some certain values that can always be, come for. Let me just stop there, please. Thank you
very much. Thank you. Thank you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Please go ahead.
So I'll just say this. This bag, okay. Nobody ever argues with competency. Build your skill set. Build your skill set. Don't get tired. Secondly, never place a ceiling on yourself where it doesn't exist. Some people think once I have a BSc, that's where it ends. What do you need for the next phase? The world of work is so dynamic. Things are changing. The question is, how are you moving with that dynamism? What do you require? And that demands you consistently doing a career SWOT analysis or a business SWOT analysis if you're in the business space. What is the next thing? And do I have capacity for it? How do I build for it? The third thing I would say is, what are your values? Your values will determine how you show up. What do you stand for? And what won't you stand for? Those things, you must consistently determine it and know it. The fourth dimension of it is you must have a vision. Where are you going? Without a vision, you are going nowhere. The skill set won't matter. Anywhere belle face, you face. That will be your mantra. And so what is your vision and what is the vision? What is the picture of success? At the end of time and at the end of season, you are not going to be that age that you are now. You are on that journey. The purpose of your life is beyond you. There are other people that you are expected to enable. And the question is, how are you doing that even as you are doing your journey?
And you need to be able to put all of that into perspective. You must have a master plan for your life, the way a house is built. And in that master plan, that enables you to know what you can tolerate and what you cannot tolerate. You may not have a choice over what gets thrown at you. You will always have a power of choice on how you react to it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We'll take that as your closing. So we have listened to, we must create our values, stand by them. You must do self-development. Develop yourself, re-engineer yourself if there's anything like that. Just keep making sure you're up to date. And then I also hear create a vision. Be clear about what your vision is and have it like a master plan, like a building master plan. I missed the first one, but I think I captured those last three. All right, so can we have some closing words from you, Tosi? Just something brief.
Okay, my closing word is you are your biggest asset. So continue to aggressively invest in yourself. Also, do not think of just Nigeria. The world is much bigger. You know, Nigeria is not your only source. It's not your only market. Just think global, and you are that big, big, big asset.
Thank you very much. All right, so Manoj, let's hear your
Yeah, quick one. So our set time is now. Yes, Igbo people say whenever you wake up, that's your morning. So our morning is now. Please do all you can. Like she said, the world is a very competitive place today. It's a continuum. We have to continue. It's like R&D, research and development. Every country that is serious about placing itself where it should be has a particular group of people that are thinking on their feet. So you have to constantly reevaluate. So you must have those periodic reviews. You must have the short to medium-term goals. It's like your typical performance management system. I talk about it all the time because there has to be KPOs. There has to be set targets. If not, you'll just be all over the place, like she has said. Have a master plan so that whenever there's a deviation, you come back and say, no. This one is a distraction. We need to come back to where we said we're going. So, because the truth is, the way it's fashioned, truth be told, it's a bit tougher for the women, whether you like it or not, because of all the balls that we have with juggle with. And something I learned recently at the Lagos Business School, someone said it and it just dawned on me. You see this thing they say about the work-life balance? Trust me, there's no balance. There's no balance. What happens is that at one point in time, one will suffer for the other. What happens is you have the discernment, the spirit of discernment to know that that one shouldn't suffer too much. Sometimes a husband, like I'm calling his name now, please, people should not move this place out of this particular, out of the video because he will deal with me. But that husband has been supportive, so he has understood that there are times that I have to be offshore, because I do go offshore at times, and then he has to go for the open day or has to attend one thing or other. Yeah, so there's really no balance, but you must have that plan, like she said. She has also said the world is global. You can even sit in your room and, sell yourself out there. There are people who are even doing long-distance work. Prepare. And something you said about the finance, I would like to highlight here. Even those of us big business people see it. There's a homework that needs to be done about preparing yourself to attract finance. There's work to be done. Let nobody fool you. Yes, the line sounds like cliche. Hard work is the only way. Let nobody fool you. All that work, diligence that you are doing on a daily, there's a day that will pay. You will be very glad that you did it. So my last words are, I encourage everybody here, you are who you are. God has made each and every one of us very different, intrinsically blessed. Please wake up every morning and know you can go out and you can do it. Let nobody make you think any less. God bless you all.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Yes. Oh, yes. So she has said her closing words. Yes. So on this note, we would like to express our heartfelt appreciation to you, our incredible panelists. Please let's give them another round of applause. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you very much. So for all of us here, we'd like to say, okay, do we have any questions from, yes, please. Sorry about that. I thought we had already overshot our time. All right, any questions from the audience, please? Would encourage you to ask a question or two. Got it all right. Okay, we can see some hands. There's a hand behind. Please go ahead. We would like that you identify yourself. Just tell us your name.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Oluwatosin. I want to ask Oluwatosin, Mrs. Oluwatosin.
Okay.
He says saving is good, but you have to go into investment. I want to ask, what kind of investment can women go into? Some people think that until I have 1 million, 3 million before I can go into investment. So that's my question.
Thank you so much for that question. So we have 3 different categories. We have the low risk, meaning that the job is that your capital is safe, you can sleep at night. Treasury bills, money market mutual fund, commercial papers. We highly recommend this for beginners, somebody starting to invest. You can sleep at night, it is safe. Number 2, this is the medium risk asset. It's an opportunity for you to grow wealth in the long run. In this category, you have here stocks. Stocks can be global stocks or local stocks. And also under this category, you also have some S&P 500. It tracks 500 of the largest stocks in the world, right? I love to use this example. You're talking about starting small and if it is possible. If you had invested 100,000 Naira 14 years ago in Netflix, it's worth 14.5 million Naira today. So for many people that are employees, 9-to-5ers, it is absolutely possible. Just start with small tranches and, increase it over time. The last category is your high-risk assets. And this is where people sometimes overindulge. The job here is that it has the potential to give your portfolio a flip, but you have to be very careful with exposure. Example here is cryptocurrency. We usually advocate for or even sometimes FX, like Forex. We always tell people, please stay away from Forex. It's very hard for you to beat the market. And for crypto, reduce your exposure to like 5% of your portfolio. So, these are the different kind of instruments that you can invest in, but there are a lot more. Before I go, I love this scenario. Let's say you were investing 20,000 Naira every month from your 20s, right? You were doing NYSC and you're getting 10% per annum. By the time you hit retirement, those little 20K every month is actually going to be 211 million. Yes. And that is the power of compounding. If you started 10 years later, that amount is going to be 76 million. But if you're already in your 30s and 40s saying, Tosin, is it too late? It's not too late, but you just have to double your hustle. So if you were doing 20K in your 20s, now that you're already in your 40s, you have to start thinking of doing 100 so you can catch up. But please start investing. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I know there's another hand at the back. Yes, please.
All right. Thank you so much. This event has been really inspiring. So here is or are my questions. We have been talking about advocacy, taking actions and all of that. So I want to really understand at what level can we say diversity, equity, inclusion has been balanced and achieved? And secondly, I want to say if there is anything specific, because I understand moving to the top, there must be challenges. So has there ever been any point you felt like giving up? And what was that thing you did that you can advise the younger generations to do? Thank you.
All right, so before you go, your questions, do you want any particular panelist to answer the question or anyone can answer?
My second question, I want Engineer Chichi to answer that.
Okay.
Yeah. But
and then your first question on the
anyone can do
okay,
it.
so we'll start with the first one. Maybe you answer the first question and then Chichi will answer the second.
Okay, to your first question, at what point do you say diversity, equity, inclusion has been achieved? Now, this is a function of the targets that you have set. That is primarily it. This is at the point where I want to celebrate Leadway. I really, really want to celebrate Leadway. And please join me in doing that. And it dates as far back as the days of Oye Hassan Odukale, the days of Tunde Hassan Odukale. And let me give it a short insight here. Sometime in 2016, we looked at our statistics and we saw that there was a need to empower women. for some reason, when women get to that midpoint, the number of people who start at graduate trainee level, who coming into the organization at entry points, by the time you get to the mid-level, it is nearly dropping half. And then to the leadership, when I joined the leadership, there was only one woman. I was the second woman. Look around this room today, that is a different story completely. And so we had to set a target and be very deliberate about that inclusion. And remember, I talked about something, competency. You are not doing it just because you want to do it. You want the right people who are capable, who will do it, and who will move the organization forward. Not in bit size, but exponentially. And that has been the story. At leadership level, at group-wide level, the ratio of men to women has changed significantly, and at every layer we are actually monitoring and tracking it. At leadership level, it is mind-blowing. It is nearly, it is 40 to 60%. How many organizations have that at leadership level? At board level, it is the same story. So please join me in celebrating leading. And what I would also say is, it's a function of the target, it's a function of the value that you have been able to curate that you would get from it. Let me openly say this. When women are given opportunity, they stand to be loyal, committed, dedicated, and they push it forward. Much more than men, statistically backed up. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. This is for the young lady. I didn't get your name. What's your name? Bimbo. Favor. Ah, Favor. Favor. So let me tell you what's the truth. Huh? And like we've said here, development is a continuum, okay? But at your age, what should be interesting to you now would be have your small plan. Don't set something that is not achievable or realistic, but set something that will stretch you a little bit, all right? You have to be deliberate about carving that path first. Then you ask yourself, what do I need to do? What are the skills that are necessary today? So if someone is going to hire me, why will I be attractive? There are things we call, those of us that hire, we call them unique selling points. Your USP, what's going to set you out differently? So how are you going to develop a USP that will make you different from the next girl that I'm going to talk to? You need to start looking at those things, and many of them are embedded in trainings, okay? Be deliberate about, start with the small ones, even the free ones like I've mentioned here. If you want to name Udemy, Coursera, there are many of them where you can go for trainings and even get certified. Be deliberate about it. When I did my MBA, it was tough because that was the part of my career where we were training like 3 children at the same time. To put aside that extra finance to be able to do that was really a tough one. Training is always there. Develop, be particular about who you spend your time with. You guys, your age, I have people that are even older than you. I know what the problem is. It's the internet, social media. You burn all your time, reasonable time. Please be deliberate. So say, and there are people you should be spending your time with, not everybody. There are some people in yours, even me at my age, most of the friends I have, they're older than me. There are people I sit with, and in 15 minutes, I know that I'm already telling myself, Chichi, you need to do better. You need to do better. Be deliberate about who you sit with. There are friends you can call maybe on the weekend, yeah, just for gisting. But you know what? There are some that will make you, that will stretch you, that will tell you what's going on, that will move you. My son brought home a girl recently, Nefeme. I was so impressed by her because of what she's doing. Even in the school level, what she's thinking, the advocacy she's running. At that age, those are the kind of friends you should find because they will always stand out. The knowledge they garner, every team lead will always find them wherever they are. So please, at your age, those are the things I think that should be interesting to you. The soft skills, please learn them. Letter writing, presentation, speaking correct English. Nothing puts off somebody when you get a one chance and then you start talking bad English. And yeah, I don't know about some people, but for me, it's a big write-off sometimes. Yeah, it just shuts you down in your head. You can't place your is and your as and your has and your have. Come on. How am I going to give you a letter? Even if I bring you as an intern today, I get inundated with thousands. How do I pick you amongst the whole lot? Because sometimes even your intro is wasting my time. So prepare yourself. I told you there will be a day that will just come. When I give you that one time, remember that it's like a penalty shot. You can't miss it, darling. So prepare for it on a daily. All right? Leave social media. Trust me, even me, I like the social media at times to see what they are talking. But it can't be all my time. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Favor, you have heard it. All right. So do you have any other question? Any other question? Okay, so I think we're done. Thank you very much. Yes, thank you very much for your time. And to the women in the house, I would say thank you for listening, paying close attention to our incredible panelists while they dished out the best of what they can tell us now about how we can go there and excel as women. So I wish you all the best. Yeah. Thank you.
That's why it'll never work. You have me suicidal, suicidal. When you say it's over, damn all these beautiful girls, they only wanna do you dirt. They'll have you suicidal, suicidal. When they say it's over. See, it started at the park, used to chill after dark. Ooh, when you took my heart, that's when we fell apart. Cause we both thought that love lasts forever. Lasts forever. They say we're too young to get ourselves sprung. Oh, we didn't care. We made it very clear. And they also said that we couldn't last together. Last together. See, it's very divine. You're one of a kind, but you mash up my mind. You have to get declined. Oh, Lord, my baby is driving me crazy. You're way too beautiful, girl. That's why it'll never work. You have me suicidal, suicidal. When you say it's over, damn all these beautiful girls, they only wanna do you dirt. They'll have you suicidal, suicidal.
Phenomenal women. Hello, everyone. Abracadabra. 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 Everyone is now gentle. You know when they prick somebody with pin? When there's a pin and you are being pricked, you know how it is. Why are you gentle now? We've heard a lot, and I know that, it is beginning to settle in us. Please, let's come back to that cheerful mood, yes? And most importantly, let's make use of those words we've heard from these powerful women today. Please, can we give them a round of applause again? Thank you. So right about now, we have the Secretary to the Lagos State Government, Barrister Bimbola Salaudeen, and she's ably represented by Mrs. Antonia Omoyeni. So let's give her a round of applause as she makes her way to the stage. So while she comes up to the stage, I'm going to read her bio. So Bimbola Salaudeen, Fellow, Institute of Mediation and Cancellation. She is a product of the famous University of Ife, now Obafemi Awolowo University, where she graduated with a law degree in 1984. She was called to bar in 1985. She is an alumnus of the Lagos Business School. She started off as an associate counsel in Clifford M. Smith & Co. She later established Abimbola Udeng & Co. Barristers, Solicitors, and Legal Advisors, where she was the principal counsel until November 2010. She was successfully in private legal practice and ran a law firm in Ikoyi, Lagos. November 2020, she was reappointed for a second term to the NPC as Federal Commissioner. While in NPC, in May 2002, She was Nigeria's representative and spokesperson at the UNGA. Her progressive leadership style boosted staff morale, leading to improved performance of the NPC, both at the national and state offices, particularly in areas of infrastructure and manpower development. In 2023, she was appointed by the governor of Lagos State to the position of the secretary to the state government. Bimbola Salau Udein is a person-centric and developed-focused personnel. She is a member of numerous professional and indigenous organizations with a global reach. Notably, she was publicly secretary of the prestigious NBA Lagos, chairperson Christian Lawyers Association of Nigeria, Lagos member numerous professional and international bodies, and board member of some local and international organizations. In recognition of her hard work, dedication, and philanthropy, she has a lot of awards to her credit. Bimbola Salau Udein is a philanthropist and a proud mother and a grandmother to 3 illustrious daughters and many grandchildren. So can you give her a round of applause in absentia? Thank you so much.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Anthony Oredikwe. I'm a lawyer with the Ministry of Justice, and I'm here to represent the Secretary to the State Government, Mrs. Abimbola Udein. She has a speech. Unfortunately, she is not able to be here because she has an appointment to meet up with the Mr. Governor, Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu. So I'll just read her speech, and you can be rest assured she sent her warm regards to everyone here. Thank you. Mrs. Udoyin starts by saying that I am honored and excited to be here today at Assured, an initiative that represents the very essential of what we strive for. A society where women are empowered, supported, and given every opportunity to thrive, just as we've spoken today. The theme chosen for this event, Here for Her, is one that resonates deeply. You will agree, and you will all agree, that it speaks to the need for collective action, for us to stand together in ensuring that no woman is left behind. And also in our personal and professional lives, we must constantly ask ourselves, who am I showing up for, just as we've all discussed? Who am I supporting? Who am I helping to rise? For us in Lagos State, our commitment to women's empowerment is not just a vision. It is a reality being implemented every day. Under the leadership of Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, the government has prioritized initiatives that create opportunities for women to succeed in education, in business and leadership, and also in technology. Through the Ministry of Women Affairs and Poverty Alleviation, WAPA, and the Lagos State Employment Trust Fund, we have trained thousands of women in entrepreneurship, vocational skills, and financial management. And our commitment goes even further than that. We are just mentioning a few. Permit me to highlight some other initiatives. The Eco Digital Initiative for Women and Girls is equipping young women with digital skills like coding, data analysis, and online business management, ensuring that they are prepared for the future of work. The Lagos State Women Fund provides financial support for female entrepreneurs, enabling them to expand their businesses and to achieve financial independence. The Girls in STEM initiative is helping to bridge the gender gap in science, in technology, in engineering, and mathematics, ensuring that more girls see a future in these fields. The Female Transport Entrepreneurship Program is empowering women to enter into the transportation industry, providing them with training and access to vehicle financing. The Lagos State Domestic and Sexual Violence Agency is not only protecting survivors of gender-based violence, but also providing them with economic empowerment programs to rebuild their lives. we can be rest assured that this domestic violence is actually slowing a lot of women down. But Lagos State government is working on that. We are on top of it. Beyond these, we also have initiatives such as the Women in Agriculture and Agribusiness Program, which provides female farmers and agripreneurs, and the Market Women Empowerment Scheme. And this ensures that market women and traders have access to financial literacy training and cooperative funding. All these programs reflect one clear message: Lagos is here for her. Let us remember that government action alone is not enough. Real change happens when the private sector, communities, and individuals step up to create environments where women are not just included but thriving. This is why I applaud Leadway Holdings for establishing Ashword. This is more than just a gathering, it is a movement. A movement that reassures every woman, regardless of her background, that she has the support she needs to succeed. As we live here today, Mrs. Odeyi is telling us, I encourage every one of us to be intentional in taking action, to be a mentor by investing in at least one woman's dream, advocating for her rights, and creating spaces where she can excel. When we do that, we are not only lifting up women, we are lifting up families, businesses, and even entire communities. For Lagos State government, she for here is her. She is here for her. I, Mrs. Odeyi, am here for her. And I know that each of you is here for her too. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you so much, Ma. So during the panel session, they mentioned that we should lend a helping hand to a woman today. And I think I'll be the first person to ask you for help. So right about now, I want you to bring out your phones, and we're going to take a video. We're going to post it on Instagram and tag Assured. Yes, and tag Assured by Leadway. Are we ready? Are we ready? I'm going to do the same. And this is what we are going to do. I'm going to make a video. When I say, are you ready? Why is everybody looking cold? Are we ready? Are we ready? Thank you. So when I say Assured 2025, you say here for her. And I'm going to make a video, and I want you all to make a video, post it on your social media platform, support the movement. We've learned a lot today. Don't be selfish. Post it, share it. So are we ready? We are going to tag Assured by Leadway. So let me prepare. So we are saying Assured 2025, and you reply here for her. I'm also going to post it. Are we ready? We'll give everybody. Thank you, Mom. Assured 2025. Let me come down. Assured 2025. Assured 2025. Thank you so much, phenomenal women. So now post it on your social media platform, Facebook, Twitter, Trend. Sorry, Facebook X. Facebook X, Trend, all your social media platform, Instagram, and make sure you tag Assured by Leadway. So now we have the award segment. Let me get my iPad. I can hear my voice. Come on. Come on. So today we'll celebrate remarkable achievements, including some exceptional students from the University of Lagos who have broken records, such as the first-class female graduate. Assured isn't just about conversations, it's also about real impact, including mentorship, opportunities for women who are making strides. So now I'm going to call on the people who are going to present the award. First up, we are going to start with the award presentation. And we have the first category, which will be handled by the Chief Project Officer, Toyosi Olatunji. So she's the Chief Project Officer, Leadway Group. I guess they all went to take a picture outside. So since we have small time, let's play a little game. Are we ready? Are we ready? Yes. So we are going to pass the microphone this time around again. If you came early, you'll be familiar with the game. So who is familiar with the game? You are familiar with the game? Come and explain to us. Women supporting women, no. Don't hide. Passing the microphone. Yes. Here for her. 7 times.
Here for her, here for her.
Wait. Explain to them what the game is about. I'm not going to be the only one talking here today. Are you ready? So we have a post. Who's going to explain to us what the game is about? So it's a game, we call it passing the mic. Yes. So this game, you have to say the theme 7 times. And she's going to give us an example.
So when I say here for her 7 times, then you pass the microphone randomly.
Randomly to anybody. Good. So are we ready? Yeah, starting.
Okay. Here for her, here for her.
For real?
Okay, here for her, here for her, here for her.
On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 kind of fast.
Here for her, 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 here for her.
Hey! My post! Again.
Here for her, 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 here for her.
Give her a round of applause. Even if she's women supporting women. She did well. So can you pass the microphone randomly to anybody? Okay. So, ma'am, you expected to say the theme 7 times. Wow! Ma, you have to pass the microphone randomly to anybody. Women supporting women. Now they are giving you the microphone like this. It's not good.
Okay. Here for her, 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 here for her. I don't know how long.
You will repeat this class. Again. It was slow on a 10 kind of fast. Here for her, here for her, here for her. Don't let me show myself.
Here for her, 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 here for her. I don't know how many times.
That studio. I said you said something very funny. You're singing here for her, here for her. DJ, give me beats here for her, here for her. Thank you so much. I like you. I like you.
All my G's fit to testify. And they see when we getting high. I be seeing 339.
Okay. If you reject the mic, you come outside to dance. Yes. If you reject the mic, you just come outside to dance. So are you ready? Hey, come on. You can do it.
Everybody won't follow.
Hey. Choose one. You dance. Let's go. they will clap for you. Thank you so much. We are moving on to the award presentation. And the first category is going to be given by Chief Project Officer Leadway Group. That's Toyosi Olatunji. Please can we give her a round of applause?
So tell me what you wanna do tonight. You know the party no go make sense if you never did it. Make the party come alive. We done the 02 to 03. My love best seat, I love her. So baby, tell me why you wanna. She body make you do as you like. Now steady with the bloody canal. Blow some trees, make you feel alright. I don't feel like man, I'm wasted. And I'm feeling reckless. Now buy like a latest. That's why I'm working on patience. I know the joke.
Hi, everyone. This special recognition award is presented to Engineer Chichi Emenike for being a beacon of women's development in Nigeria. On behalf of Leadway Holdings, on behalf of Leadway Holdings. Thank you, ma'am.
I get it plenty to go around. So girl, make you dance when you hear this sound. Now we the poppy all over town. So tell me if you dey down, dey down. Do you know? Say oh, make it go like go.
MC, can you take the volume down, please? Thank you. The next special recognition award is presented to Oluwatosin Olasende for being a beacon of women's development in Nigeria.
DJ, you have to dance.
This is my favorite person, by the way.
Yeah, say now you want go near my bed. You know the fear face. When I be say you don't curry, I be you chop crazy. Oh, wow. Eh, if not play, make you stop, papas. I know they take a yeah, cause I be bad chop guy. And I know they fake I'm wow. Eh, with my baby, my Wonder Woman. A superwoman. Oh, with my baby, my Wonder Woman. A superwoman. My special woman. See my guy, take a cheap pillow. It's my baby, not the real deal. Yes, sir. No be the one where you feel steal. No be the ones where they rush you. My baby, no they wear bomb. I see this, so now follow come. All photo no be Photoshop. Fine get no be Mary Kay or black. Hey, she make a wire. If not pounds on a dollar, I go send you figure where you go Maya. Wells Fargo near me I go run now. Go run. Hey, she make a wire. If not pounds on a dollar, I go send you figure where you go Maya. Wells Fargo near me I go run now. Yeah, she now you want go near my bed. You know the fear face. When I be say you don't curry, I be you chop crazy. Oh, wow. Eh, if not play, make you stop, papas. I know they take a yeah, cause I be bad chop guy. And I know they fake I'm wow. Eh, with my baby, my Wonder Woman. A superwoman. Oh, with my baby, my Wonder Woman. A superwoman. My special woman. Yeah, all of it, loco. I won't be no to it. Only more jet for shoko.
Exclusive at wordupniger.com.
Yeah, all of it, loco. I I want binu to it. Only mo je for shaka. Eh, she make a wire. If not pounds on a dollar, I go say
Joro me, I want you to love me. Joro me, baby. Joro me, joro. Kilo de, why you know they call me? Kilo de, baby. Kilo de, joro. I dey give you signal. Why you know they see me? I give you green light to tire. Joro me, joro. I'm a kilo babu. May you know they fumble. I go shoot my shot to your joro. So joro, baby, take my number. Take my number. You know you can call me later. Call me later. Me, I want to be your lover. Be your lover. Oh baby, call me later. Call me later. For la people, CBO. Talk to your friend, oh. Joro me, baby, oh. Joro me, joro. Shebi walo so for me. You talk say you like me. I be rolling pagon. Kilo de joro. I dey give you signal. Joro me. She you know they see me. Joro me. I give you green light fire. Joro me, joro. I'm a killer babu. Joro me. Come my love fumble. Joro me. I go shoot my shot to you, joro. So joro, baby, take my number. Take my number. You know you can call me later. Call me later. Me, I want to be your lover. Be your lover. Oh baby, call me later. Call me later.
So we'll also be awarding some new students, like I said earlier, people who have done exceptionally well in their fields. So, the first person will be Peace Onua.
This award is MC. Can you take your volume down, please? This award is of excellence. Is presented to Peace Onoha for her exploits in education. Congratulations on your first class achievement. It's a great one. On behalf of Leadway, I present you with this award.
yeah. Stop to do, yeah. Oh, sha. Good boy. It's in a me, take it easy. Catch some cruise to my cheese. You spoke one for days. Come on for the body, no the breathe. Put on your shoe, make it stand.
So the next award of excellence will be presented to Akoni Peace.
Is
she here? All right, then can we have Oyinda Mola Arikawe?
This award of excellence is presented to Oyindamola Arikawe for her exploits in education. Congratulations on your first class achievement. On behalf of Leadway Group, I present this to you.
The next award will be presented to Damilade Bankole.
Demilade. This award of excellence is presented to Demilade Bankole for her exploits in education. Congratulations on your first class achievement, Demilade. On behalf of Leadway Group. Okay.
Okay. Okay. So the next set of awards will be presented by Rosetta Ate. She's the head life underwriting cultural service. Midase. She's a Ghanaian and so beautiful.
All right, thank you. This award of excellence is presented to Daramola Esther. Is she here? Oh, yeah. Well done. It's for her exploits in education as well.
Eunice Obidi. No, this one. So the next set of awards will be presented to Eunice Obidi for Award of Excellence and her exploits in education. So the next award of excellence will be presented to Frances Odogu. So for the next award presentation, we'll be inviting on stage Mrs. Lily Izef Bigi, the General Manager, Leola Hotel. Please give her a round of applause.
This award of excellence will be presented to Chelsea Jagede for her exploits in education.
She's not here. She's not here yet.
This award of excellence will be presented to Joy Imana. This award of excellence will be presented to Okoyemi Hasiat Karim for her exploits in education as well. The final award goes to overall excellence goes to Igbin Lade Temi Loluwa Princess. She's not
Is she
here.
here? All right. That's all. Thank you so much. Thank you. All right. So the next set of awards will be presented by Mrs. Kumbi Adeoti, the CPEO Leadway Assurance. Leadway Group.
This award of excellence is presented to Olarewaju Mofeshola Priska for her exploits in education.
Is she around? Is she here?
Wow.
And no one is here for her.
Okay. This award of excellence is presented to Onobanjo Fumilola for her exploits in education. Please let's clap for her. Abracadabra.
Creating magic.
Abracadabra. I can hear you. So, for the past few hours, we've listened to women of honor who have shared their experiences, their journeys, and we have subsequently given out awards to generations that are upcoming. We are awarding them, we've awarded them on a journey of excellence in their education. This is absolutely important. Why? Because we want to encourage. Remember that we talked about empowering one another. So on this note, we want to bring the program to an end. I want to recognize and celebrate, first and foremost, Aisha Gababelo is not here, but I believe she must be online. Please, can we celebrate her? I want to recognize the entire team. This is Omotola, where are you? Please, let's celebrate her. I want to celebrate her. This has become her project and she ran with it. I am absolutely proud of her. And I want to celebrate the entire team, Nii, Vivian, everybody that had been working behind the scene. Please join me in celebrating all of them. Thank you. Thank you very much. If there's anything we are all taking away today, to create a better society, we need to empower the woman. And it doesn't matter where you are on your journey, inside of you is that capacity, because at some point we second guess who we are. Even though we may have achieved something, and I believe everybody at every level you are, you have achieved something. What we are saying today, by creating a community that is even beyond the internal dynamics of Leadway to the external society, is to say we want to empower. We want to create communities where women can financially stand, build businesses, build careers. And as we do so, within Leadway, there are products also that enable all of these pillars. We want to encourage the public out there to take advantage. More and more, we're going to be curating things that are specifically for women to enable their journey. To every one of you who have created time to be here, to be part of this historic event. We also celebrate you. We will see you on the other side of greatness, but together, let's create magic. Thank you very much and have a powerful day.
Joy is coming, joy